the Steelers and the Browns hook up, it is usually a very good one. These two teams are about as emotionally high as two football teams can be, and the fans are right up there with them. John, when you look at the Steelers, you have to admire their head coach, Chuck Noll. He's a quiet guy. He doesn't get a lot of press, but what a motivator, what a leader.
Don, I think he's the best-kept secret in the National Football League. He's been the best coach over the past 8 or 10 years. He's got them ready every week. He's not only a technician, he's also an administrator. It's a rare quality. He is, right now, the premier coach in the game.
Well, injuries are going to be a factor in this football game. Both teams are hurt. You won't believe this crowd. It's unbelievable. They're really up. The Steelers have good backup people. They've lost starters, and yet their backup people have come in and played like all pros.
I think the Steelers, that's the name of the game. We talk about key injuries. A key injury is an injury that you can't replace. So there is no such thing in Pittsburgh. A kid like Tom Beasley comes on as a down lineman, starts playing great football. Gary Dunn plays great football when he's asked to play. Banaszak's having the best year of the whole defense. We already know about Lambert. We already know about Green. But when you ask a guy like Dirt Winston not only to play the middle, but today move outside and play, and their level of play doesn't go down, you're talking about a world champion.
Well, Sam Ratigliano and his Cleveland Browns have the same problem. They've got people hurt. They have to rely on backup players today.
I think in order for them to get into the league that Pittsburgh has now attained, they've got to play some of their first draft choices. You're going to see a kid like today. You might see a Willis Adams. He's a 4'4", 40-yard runner, a guy named Cody Rison. Cody is a guard. He's got to be doing some playing. Their offensive line is good. For it to get over the hump, a kid like this has to come along and play well for him.
And John Smith will be in there also. You need everybody you got. It gets to be a game of attrition after a while. Who do you have less? Well, these two teams have two good ones coming in, like Willis Adams at wide receiver.
Well, Willis Adams has played very well, but he hasn't been given a chance to play in the games. He's the kind of guy everybody expects a lot from. We'll see today. They need somebody to expand the defense.
And we've got two fine quarterbacks, as you know. Terry Bradshaw quarterbacks the Steelers, and Brian Sipe does a big job for the Cleveland Browns. And they're ready, and so are we, and we're glad you can be with us. Stay tuned now, as we're almost set to tee it up. The Browns versus the Steelers. Hey. This is Don Criqui with John Brody, Cleveland Stadium, as the Browns and the Steelers have it teed up and ready to go, and that's how it stands right now in the AFC Central. At the moment, Houston is beating St. Louis 14-7, so the winner of this game will have at least a share of first place in the AFC Central. Barr kicks off. It carries deep, and newly acquired Dino Hall starts back upfield for the Cleveland Browns. He's got some room. As Hall is out across the 30, out to the 34-yard line. Keith Wright, the brilliant young punt returner, kick returner for the Browns, is out for this season after undergoing knee surgery earlier this week. So Dino Hall has come in. That's how the offensive backfield looks.
All right, Calvin Hill's the man that's in place of Greg Pruitt. Brian Sipe's been having a great year. He's carried him, actually, and if Cleveland's going to really be in the same league with Pittsburgh throughout the afternoon, the rest of his club's got to come up to his level of play.
Well, they got the field position. The Browns come out of the huddle. They had an off game last Sunday at Houston. Were beaten for the first time this season. The Steelers had their 12-game win streak broken last Sunday at Philadelphia. Both these teams are way up for this game. Here's a handoff. Pruitt runs hard. The Steelers have given up very little to the run this season. The straight ahead carry is out across the 35-yard line to about the 37.
Don, talking to Jim Schaffner and Sam Ratigliano before the ball game, he said, we know we can go to these fellows. These are our big play people, Rucker, Logan, Newsom. But what we've got to do, and it's an old cliche, is establish that we can run. He said previously in the last couple games we've established we could not, and that's not the way we wanted to go.
Well, if you can establish you can run against this outfit, the Steelers, you get some offense. Calvin Hill aligns now behind Pruitt. I formation, two wide receivers to the left. Pitch back, Calvin Hill. They come back to the weak side. And Calvin Hill drives the ball on a 2nd and 6 carry out across the 41-yard line. The Cleveland Browns and the Pittsburgh Steelers have been meeting since 1950. This is the 59th meeting in the series.
And these are the fellows that have to move people around. George Beeler has moved his spot from right guard to left guard. He feels like he's playing better. Tom DeLeon is the real spearhead in the middle. Henry Shepard's moved from guard to tackle. They're a pretty solid offensive line. They have to be a little bit better to compete with Pittsburgh today.
Now Rucker comes out wide to the right. Moving out to the left flank for the Cleveland Browns is Ricky Feature. It is 3rd down and about 3 for the Cleveland Browns. Somebody jumped in early. No marker down yet. Free football, and the Steelers have the football. Apparently that Steeler who jumped in jumped back in time. So the first break of the game goes to the Pittsburgh Steelers, and they don't get breaks, they make them.
I think, Don, what you're going to see is a lot of times fumbles happen because people get to the ball carrier before he's ready to have them do so. It wasn't the case this time. Dirt Winston just got a good piece of the ball when he tackled Pruitt, caused a fumble. The first big turnover is Pittsburgh's.
Chuck Noll now congratulates his defense as they've come up with a big play again. They've allowed only 71 points this season as the Pittsburgh defense, and a lot of those are resulting in turnovers, giving the other team good field position. Steelers have turned the ball over 16 times this year. It's 1st and 10 Pittsburgh, no score. Sidney Thornton averaging 5.6 yards a rush, takes it inside the 30, inside the 20. And Thornton, the big back, is not done yet as he brings the ball all the way down inside the 20-yard line.
Don, Joe Gordon, the PR man for Pittsburgh, has stated so. He says he can't understand it. We all know about Rocky Bleier, Franco Harris. He said Sidney Thornton is carrying this club offensively right now. You can see he turns a 4-yard gain into about a 25-yarder, and he's been the big play man for Pittsburgh. It's Bradshaw, Thornton, and Harris in the backfield.
And so the Steelers, capitalizing on an early turnover after Cleveland's first possession ended in a fumble, are now starting to challenge with no score in the first quarter. It's 1st and 10 at the 17-yard line of Cleveland. Franco Harris drives the ball down to the 10-yard line. Charlie Hall, Cleveland's leading tackler, coming to the game at the left linebacker, 59, was on the hit for the Browns. So right away, the Steelers come out. They want to run the football. They'd like to keep their offense on the field and their beat-up defense, give it as much rest as they can.
Okay, it's a pretty windy day. Bradshaw would like to throw sparingly. He's got an outstanding receiver in John Stallworth. We know Swan's hurt. Jim Smith's a pretty good fill-in. And Randy Grossman is playing fine football. Look for number 89 late in the game, however.
John Stallworth comes on the left flank. Jim Smith out on the right flank. It is 2nd and 4 for the Steelers. Draw play, Thornton straight up the middle. And he takes the ball down to the 12-yard line. Cleveland's regular middle linebacker, Dick Ambrose, will only be used for spot duty today. He's got a back problem. In there in his stead is 56, Robert Jackson, a former #1 draft choice out of Texas A&M. And he just went against an all-pro center in Webster, and Webster won.
Well, that lineup right there, if you're playing defense, you know these fellas are going to trap you. The problem is you don't know when and you don't know who. But when you talk with these fellas offensively, they can trap with anybody in the game.
The left tackle is a great football player for the Steelers, John Kolb. Now in the backfield, Sidney Thornton and Franco Harris in an open set. It is 3rd and less than a yard for the Steelers. No score first quarter. Bradshaw looks into the end zone. Over the middle, touchdown. He broke the play to the goal.
I think they signaled it touchdown.
Danny
You're right.
Cunningham had it long enough. He had possession when he crossed the plane to the goal line, and the hands went up. It is a touchdown, Steelers. John?
I think he was going for a little spike action as he crossed the goal line. It's a good thing he did it before after he got there. I've seen several guys go through their act before they got there,
right.
And then it would have been a 6-point mistake. Because you watch Cunningham pick up the ball, a little bit low throw. Ooh, he just got there, I'll tell you.
He hit it with his knee, actually. Yep. I think he was going to go into one of those stands.
This is just a little delayed block, Don. He tries to let the linebackers get into their drop. He comes across the middle. It's 6-0. Now it's 7.
Matt Barr hits the extra point, and so the Steelers capitalize early on a Brown fumble. And the Pittsburgh Steelers go out in front, 7-0. We'll be back at Cleveland Stadium. This is Don Criqui with John Brody. Steelers capitalized early. They're in the end zone right away.
They knew they had to get started fast. They did it.
All right, we're ready now for the Steelers' second kickoff of this football game. Dennis Winston recovering that fumble on Cleveland's first possession. Now, back again is Dino Hall to receive, and Matt Barr, who hit the extra points, ready to kick off for the Steelers. He's into the football. Sun's starting to break through. A lot of wind here. It's going to be a factor as the game wears on. Hall loses the handle. He's got a problem now. Dino Hall does get across the 20-yard line. We got some great NBC pictures of that last touchdown, the first of the game. Watch this now.
We mentioned Benny Cunningham. He was in for Grossman. 2 tight end situation. He blocks, lets the linebackers clean out. Then when he comes across, it's very difficult to tell whether or not he just crossed the goal line or whether he just got there a little prematurely. But you can see he's letting the linebackers go, beating the flow. You see the ball got hit. He's trying to get control of it. He was in, ruled by the referee. That's all that's counted.
So you see it a couple different ways. Our producer here today for NBC is Larry Cirillo. Our director, Ted Nathanson. We're in the first quarter. The Cleveland Browns have their second possession now. They've had a problem moving the ball. Up the middle, they go back to Pruitt. And the Steelers close it down fast and hard. They're looking at Joe Green. I think they're going to double up on him this afternoon.
Joe Green has played very well against the run. You can see he stands up the guards. It's very difficult when the man you have to pick on is an 8 to 10 year veteran, number 75. They've been running at him. They haven't run effectively at him all year.
He only goes to the Pro Bowl every year. Joe Green, back in good health. L.C. Greenwood is back in the Steeler lineup too. He's at left end, missed 4 games with injuries. Now the Browns try to go to the run, and there's nothing there. Calvin Hill gets a full load, and coming up to get him is John Banaszak, back in his hometown of Cleveland, Ohio, playing the right end for the Pittsburgh Steelers. Defensive line of the Steelers.
We mentioned Gary Dunn, Banaszak, Beasley. They're not the fellas that you're associating with the greatness of the Pittsburgh defenses over the years, but the Pittsburgh defense has not dropped in its play, and it's changed in its personnel. John Banaszak having his best year of all time.
It is 3rd down and 7 now for the Cleveland Browns. End up. Here's Dino Hall in the backfield. They're going some wide speed, and Hall takes it out across the 30, and he might have a first down. Now, as you know, Greg Pruitt is out for Cleveland. They're a great little scat back. So they've picked up Hall, and he provides some of that outside speed, which the big backs don't have.
He's got excellent speed, and he needed it that time. He just outran all the pursuit. Ham's got a little pulled hamstring. Jack Lambert's playing injured. Dennis Winston had to move over to the corner. So you see they've got kind of a makeshift defense, but they've still been tough.
Here's some guys that can play football. J.T. Thomas starting at a corner for Ron Johnson. Mel Blount, consensus All-Pro year in, year out. Donnie Shell, Brown coaches think he might be the best guy back there, the strong safety. A lot of football talent in the secondary of the Steelers. Whole roster, 45. They all are outstanding. They're the world champions and expect to be again. This is a confident football team, but right now on a first down carry, the Browns move it out again. They get good blocking from the left side. The tackle is Deacon, number 73. The guard is Beeler, 64. And DeLeon moved out nicely at center and hit the middle linebacker of the Steelers, Jack Lambert.
They're going to have to get that kind of movement out of their offensive line. They put a big burden on them. They said, you fellas have to move their defense backwards in order for us to move the ball and control it. If we can't throw when we want to, if they're dictating to us when we have to throw, we're in trouble.
Ryan Sipe now sets down his Cleveland Browns on a 2nd down and long 5 play at the 36-yard line of Cleveland. Pitch back here is Mike Pruitt. The big back from Purdue is stopped by Dennis Winston. The outside linebacker Winston got him first and then knocked him down. So right now we have 9 minutes and 50 seconds left to play in the first quarter. The clock is running. Cleveland and the Steelers are in the lead 7-0. A little short touchdown pass over the middle, rifled by Bradshaw to tight end Benny Cunningham. Got it into the end zone.
Let's see what they do.
Ricky Feature and Reggie Rucker, the wide receivers. Sipe gets some time. He's got a man open. Calvin Hill was there. Calvin Hill was open, but Sipe had to come in high as the big Steeler linemen were in his face. It's very difficult to handicap this wind. As you know, John, I've been down on the field looking at it closely and feeling it on the playing surface. It's a swirling wind coming off Lake Erie, which is 100 yards away. Johnny Evans hits the punt. And up bounce. Didn't help anybody on the hop. Now takes a little Cleveland roll inside the 30. And the Steelers will go back on offense 1st and 10. Kansas City, under another coach you don't hear a lot about, but he really has his team prepared, Marv Levy. They win their 4th game of the season. Kansas City beating Cincinnati 10-7. Now dropping to throw on a first down play is Terry Bradshaw. Home run ball. Starworth is out there, and he has it inside the Cleveland 30. John Starworth on a straight fly release. Coming down, little turn, and Bradshaw with that gun arm puts it right on the numbers.
What a beautiful throw. It's the kind of throw that nobody had a chance to catch the ball but Starworth from the time it was thrown. He saw them in a double zone coverage. 2 people trying to play center field. He's got a good play action pass, looks off, got Tom Darden to react down toward the left side of the field. If he can move his eyes around, get Darden reacting to him, he can have a big day. If he can't, he's trouble.
Bradshaw's primary problem this year has been interceptions. He's been picked off 8 times. Franco Harris gets the call. On a first down carry, he advances the ball close to the 27-yard line. Charlie Hall, 59, made the stop for the Cleveland Browns. But right now, the Steelers have been dominating this football game. On Cleveland's first possession, if you joined us late, a fumble. Dennis Winston got it for the Steelers. 4 plays later, they were in the end zone. On the payoff, and it was Terry Bradshaw to tight end Benny Cunningham. So it's 7-0 now, and the Steelers stout come out the second challenge. Lynn Swann, of course, our all-pro pass catcher, is not in this game. He's out with a hamstring. Franco Harris, good fill by the Cleveland linebackers. For our football game, the Eagles upping their record to 5-1. Rocky Blyer's in the backfield now. He catches the ball on 3rd and 4. Here's the pitch, and Benny Cunningham has another one. He is stuck in hard. Oliver Davis came up and banged him, but it was too little too late as Cunningham makes the first down reception at the 15-yard, about the 12-yard line.
Let's keep in mind, Cunningham weighs over 250 pounds. He's an outstanding athlete. He can run patterns across the middle, and he is the leader when he's going across the middle. Those defensive backs aren't going to wrap him the way they'd like to wrap those little wide receivers. When they do get a piece of him, they better hang on.
There's a lot of Benny, 250 pounds. Jim Smith from Michigan, the man that Navy coach George Welsh called the best receiver he's ever seen in college football, is to the right. Sidney Thornton runs the football. Got a first down carry. He got about 3. It gives you an idea how deep and how strong the Steelers are when a guy that one top coach assesses the best college receiver he's ever seen only gets to start when somebody's hurt.
But when Swann has been hurt, Smith has played extremely well.
There's Lynn Swann wearing his number 88 and his Willie Stargell hat.
Looks like he's getting ready for the World Series.
They have a few Champions banners hanging at Cleveland, Pittsburgh this year. As Bradshaw looks into the end zone, he's got an awful lot of time. He's going to beat you when you give him this much time. Touchdown, Sidney Thornton. So Bradshaw strikes early and often in this football game with 5:52 still to play in the first quarter. The Steelers are out front 13-0. John Brody.
You just can't ask your linebackers to cover all over the football field. Both his wide receivers were covered just like a blanket. Bradshaw wants to go out to the right, then he comes back. Now finally he comes over to Thornton across the middle, who went out to the right side and came all the way across the field, found himself open. Bradshaw hit him. Let's take a look at Robert Jackson. There's going to be a burden on him. See, he runs right in. Now he's already run his pattern. This is one of those 7-second patterns.
Back to the live coverage of the extra point by Barr. It is up and good. And so the world champions have taken command of this football game, but we've got a long way to go. It's 14-0 Pittsburgh over Cleveland. We'll be back in a moment. John Brody, this is Don Criqui back at Cleveland Stadium. The Steelers have taken command of this game in the first quarter, 14-0 as Barr kicks off again. Dino Hall waits the ball at the 5-yard line. He's to the 20. That's that good second move and accelerates ahead across the 20-yard line out to the 25. Draft choice number 2 coming down, and he makes the special teams hit.
And that's the only way you can make the Pittsburgh team. You're not going to get right into the lineup playing either offense or defense. You go down and you take on a few wedges. You find a spot for yourself on the roster. Zach Valentine made a great play.
John, at this point now, does Cleveland have to come out of its game plan and start firing?
Oh, I don't think so. It's a little early to get out of whatever design you've had going into the ball game. They wanted to run it. I think they've shown they can, but Sipe is the thrower, and he's been getting this team by on his arm, and I think you're going to see more of it.
Well, the Browns said the coach should have thought last week they had to come out of the game plan early. Here's Ozzie Newsome, and he catches the ball on Wagner. It's a first down for the Browns. Ozzie Newsome, a strong tight end who's got the excellent speed, gets down. Here's an upset. The Chicago Bears in a hailstorm at Buffalo on a 1-yard run by Walter Payton with just over a minute to play in the game. Beat the Buffalo Bills 7-0. Atlanta back on track now after Green Bay's big win Monday night over New England. Atlanta on the home field beats the Packers 25-7. Atlanta now 3-3. The Packers are 2-4. Brian Sipe with the big throw to Newsome has a first down. Draw play. Look at that play by Joe Green, but Mike Pruitt does well to elude Green momentarily and get ahead for yardage as Green had him at the line of scrimmage.
A very nice 4- or 5-yard gain. We mentioned Dirt Winston. He's got to play the outside, see how he does. Number 53. You can see he doesn't go for much. Calvin Hill's trying to get a piece of him. See if he can't help Mike Pruitt. He does his job. Pruitt picks up 4, but it was a nice run to get it.
So far, both teams have run 10 plays. But the Steelers have the lead. There's Greg Pruitt on the sidelines. The all-purpose back. He has a sprained knee. There was some concern he might need surgery, but that is not the case. He might be back as early as next week. Brian Sipe looking long. Lets her go. A penalty marker is down in the secondary of the Pittsburgh Steelers. We could have a call going against Pittsburgh. which would be resulting in a first down at the point of infraction. Referee today is Jim Tunney. He's going to give us the call. Going to go against the Steelers, John.
It is. It's going to be first down for the Browns. They need to sustain a drive here. They've got to get some points on the board.
5 yards, first down.
Here's the Sipe alternating wide receiver. Newsom is aligned to the right. Wind is really gusty now. It's going to be tough to throw in this football game. Sipe's going to try it again. He looks. He lets it go long. Ozzie Newsom is out there. The feature is out there and loses the ball. But there's a penalty marker down. Ricky Feature was interfered with. It is a first down for the Browns, so now they mount a challenge.
It was not a well-thrown ball by Sipe, but it was a very well-fielded ball by Feature. What he did is he goes down the field, little play-action pass. He freezes the linebackers, gives himself quite a bit of the field to play with. If he's thrown the ball a little more in the middle, Feature's got it on a dead run. However, Feature did slow down enough to force Blunt to come over the top of him, drew a penalty, keeps their drive alive.
Sure does. The best field position of the game now for the Cleveland Browns. They have the ball down to the 21-yard line of the Pittsburgh Steelers. We have 4:11 left to play. First quarter. Steelers jumped out in their first 2 possessions to a 14-0 lead. Bradshaw gunning the ball into the end zone both times for the touchdowns. Cunningham got the first. Sidney Thornton the second. It's 1st and 10 Browns at the 21-yard line of the Steelers. Here's a pass, and out there with the football is Calvin Hill, and he's down inside the 15-yard line. Superb execution as Sipe stood tall against a big rush.
It looked like an audible. Now, you don't hear much about audibles, Don, anymore, but it looked like Pittsburgh was in a blitz, a 6- or 7-man blitz. Lambert was the only one that was in the middle of the field. That puts Wagner man-to-man on Calvin Hill, a perfect throwing situation on a play-action pass. He took advantage of it.
So the Browns have something going now as Cleo Miller goes into their backfield. Number 30, Calvin Hill is in there with him. Rucker is wide to the right. Dave Logan, who can go up in the air and get the ball, is on the left flank. On 2nd and 2, Cleo Miller runs the ball. You're right into the heart of the Steeler defense. You don't get hit once. You get hit 1, 2, 3 times on that play, and down goes Miller. He did get a couple. Cleveland in white and orange in possession, trailing 14-0 in the first quarter. Pruitt runs hard. He gets inside the 10. He's got a first down for the Browns.
Good offensive surge. Both guards.
Really
and the center, Tom DeLeon, just enough surge to pick up a first down. That 1 or 2 yards is not an automatic. It's not easy. Here's Henry Shepard on the right, 65. Jackson on the right at the right guard. DeLeon, real good offensive surge. Gave Pruitt a chance to pick up the first.
So now the Browns are challenging. There's 15,000 here from Pittsburgh. Trying to get somebody elected. I'll tell you one thing, you get a pretty good football team out of some of these hombres that come in to follow the Steelers.
They were ready last night. I don't know if they're ready today.
They were really ready last night. Sipe looks into the end zone. The ball is tipped. The Steeler linebacker, Jack Lambert.
People talk about how good Lambert is at stopping the run, but he's one of the most effective linebackers patrolling that middle. He gets in the proper lane all the time, and he's very tough to throw on, and it really helps those safeties.
It's interesting, Jack Lambert grew up not far from Cleveland, was a Browns fan all his life, never missed a game. No Browns fan anymore. These two teams don't like each other. They get after it. Jack Lambert, the middle linebacker, dropping back in that zone coverage, and he tipped the ball. So now it's 2nd. Conceivably, the Browns could get a first down if they get to advance the ball inside the 1. It's just outside the 10-yard line. Now it's 2nd and 10. Pitch back goes. Here is Pruitt running hard. He's got everybody out in front of him. He's down to the 6-yard line. So a 3rd down play comes up. And I think, John Brody, we could see Sipe throw into the end zone.
Well, certainly we could. It's no easy trick to pick up 5 yards when you're down on the 6-yard line on 3rd down. It's the toughest situation for a quarterback. I'm sure that, you know, teams get into drills where you say inside the 10-yard line, what's our best 3rd down play? You're going to see it right now. And
why
I don't
is it so
know
tough
what it
for
is.
a quarterback? Why does
Well, you run out of room.
Yeah.
Everybody crowds you. And there are no patterns that you can run effectively down there. You just have to get one-on-one situation somewhere and hit them. That's tough.
Yes, it is. Right now, it's going to be tough for Brian Sipe and the Browns offense. 3rd at the 6. Into the end zone he throws. Rucker can't hold on to the football. A little bit high. I think he would have come down outside the end zone, so the kicking team goes out.
Would have been a great catch, but Sipe did throw the ball the only place he had a chance to make the reception.
So now a very capable place kicker, particularly when the weather's bad like it is today with this gusting wind. Don Cockcroft comes on the playing field for the Cleveland Browns as Sipe goes out. He actually threw the ball over 40 times last year, considering the number of plays that were called back on penalties. And Sam Rutigliano says we don't want to be throwing a football 40 times. You usually don't win a game when you do that, and they certainly did not last week. Here's Cockcroft. He hasn't missed many, though. He hits it. He's wide. Don Cockcroft doesn't get it there in the swirling wind. He is wide, and so a good Browns drive comes up empty. 1:22 left to play in the first quarter, and the Steelers give up yardage, but they do not give up points as we watch that kick again. He'll be back. Here is the seemingly point-blank field goal attempt at Don Cockcroft, but as we see, it just goes wide to the right.
Hit it pretty solid, but you can see it comes in a little late.
And Mr. Cockcroft, quite disappointed. He doesn't miss him from way out, let alone in close, but oddly enough, he's 0 for 2 from that distance this year.
First 3 games of the year, he put him on the win column.
That's right. They won on Cockcroft field goals the first 3 weeks, once in overtime at New York. Bradshaw goes to the run, but now the Steelers use their power game as driving straight ahead into tackle Sims and Shirk is Franco Harris. NBC Sports World coming up in 2 weeks on October 20th. You'll see 2 of the hardest hitters in boxing go toe-to-toe for the WBA Heavyweight Championship of the World. Undefeated Big John Tate goes against undefeated Harry Coetzee, live from Pretoria, South Africa. And also you'll see action with the legends of bowling, plus the possibility of a celebrity poker tournament. But a World Championship fight coming up October 20th on NBC. Gordon runs. Boy, he's a big guy, and he hits people, and you got to really question who is the hitter and who is the hittee when he runs into a defense, because he's dealing it out too. Jackson got him finally along with Ron Bolt, but there's good yardage. The New England Patriots had to work hard and come from behind to beat Detroit today, 24-17. Lions lost another quarterback. Homelo went down in that game. It's 3rd and less than 2 yards now for the Pittsburgh Steelers. The ball at their 29-yard line. The first quarter is in its final seconds right now, and the Steelers are in the lead 14-0. And off to Franco. Oh! Look out, look out, look out. It's a foot race now, and the big guy from Penn State is going to take it the distance on 3rd and short yardage. A 235-pound fullback turns out to be the fastest guy in the field.
We mentioned 71 yards for a touchdown. A guy, as you said, at 230 pounds. Tom Darden is a free safety. Free safeties are known for their speed. He did not have more than a stride on Darden as he left the line of scrimmage, got through the secondary. He maintained it and extended it once he got down the field. Now here's a man can fly. He stated in his own words, he's gotten off to a slow start. He certainly hasn't started slow today.
Interesting, the longest run in his career prior to this was a 75-yard touchdown run, and that was against the Cleveland Browns. So now, Bauer is out to try an extra point again as Pittsburgh, world champions that they are, has taken command of this football game on the last play of the first quarter. Pittsburgh extends its lead to 21-0. End of the first quarter, Pittsburgh 21, Cleveland 0, and we'll be right back after these messages from your local station.
Our creepy camera from the end zone gives you a look at this play as an offensive back would look at a defense. When he breaks through there, you can see you just need one little crack. There's nobody in the secondary. They've got 10 men at the line of scrimmage doing all they can to stop him from making a first down, but they didn't stop him from making a touchdown. Sam Rutigliano on the left, Chuck Noll on the right.
Brown, the right tackle, threw a great block, as did the tight end Grossman, who blocked down on the linebacker, and it's 21-0. Now, Dino Hall has a problem with the football, and the Steelers have it. The Pittsburgh Steelers, they have the football at the 12-yard line. Well, the world champions misfired last week, but man, they are unbelievable, and 15,000 people can make a lot of noise because it sounds like this is at Pittsburgh.
Well, I think Pittsburgh did what was so untypical of them last week in the dressing room. For some reason, they were unaccustomed to being the way they were. They were a little nervous, a little tense, just kind of ready for the ball game. They knew this was big for them. Look at the way they get after that ball down the field. Dino Smith didn't know where they came from, but they did get the ball.
Rookie linebacker from Michigan State. Tom Graves was on the football, so now the Steelers challenge yet again. 1st and 10 at the 12-yard line of Cleveland. Thornton dips outside. Good play by Hall. Caught him from behind, outside linebacker 59. Charlie Hall gets big Sid Thornton. So far, the Browns have turned the ball over twice. The first one was converted into the first score of the game by the Pittsburgh Steelers. And now, as we're early in the second quarter, it is 21-0 Pittsburgh. Now, if this game should get any more out of hand, we're going to switch out to Denver, where the San Diego Chargers and the Broncos are hooked up in a scoreless game. That's if the Steelers start to blow this one wide open, if they have not, in fact, done that already.
Well, 21 is, you can come back from there. 28's a little more difficult.
Bradshaw wants that 28. Out there is Jim Smith. Diving catch, touchdown, Pittsburgh Steelers.
Woo.
Boy, they're just eating it up today. They look great.
He's the replacement for Lynn Swann. Now, that's about as fine a catch as you're going to see all year. He knew he had it all the way. He dove. That the end zone's a little bit soft in there. Bradshaw made a pretty good throw, but it was a great catch. Little play action. He's putting the ball the only place anybody can grab it. He beats Bolton. You think Terry cares?
I tell you, they say another big factor in Pittsburgh's success. They all believe now in Bradshaw. A few years ago, he'd have the great game in the off game. They know that he's going to take them the distance. He's done it. Here's the extra point attempt. It's wide by Barr. That wind down at that end of the field. The open end is going to be a factor. But with 14:07 left to play in the first half, the Pittsburgh Steelers have moved out in front 27-0. We'll be back at Cleveland in a moment. And now, Matt Barr is ready to kick it off once again for the Pittsburgh Steelers as they've taken command of this game 27-0 early in the second quarter. Don Criqui with John Brody at Cleveland. Dino Hall, who saw the last kickoff return result in a fumble, subsequent recovery, and then on to the touchdown. The Browns have done that twice in this game. This telecast, the Steelers have. The telecast is presented by authority of the National Football League and is intended for the private use of our audience. Any rebroadcast or other use of this telecast without the express written consent of the Cleveland Browns and the National Football League is prohibited. So Barr will do it all over again back at the 30. John, the Cleveland Browns aren't sure what's happened to them, but they know it is not good.
And Pittsburgh has not made one mistake all day long. That's throughout a whole first quarter of football. They scored a touchdown every time they got their hands on the ball, and they haven't allowed Cleveland's offense to really move the ball effectively. And
Coach
there's
Noll,
the man.
You wouldn't know if he's ahead 27-0 or behind, but he doesn't change. The interesting story about when he was hired by the Steelers back in 1969, they interviewed him the day after Baltimore had been upset by the Jets in Super Bowl III, and his composure, in the opinion of Dan Rooney, was so great. So this is the kind of guy I think we might want leading us out of the wilderness, and he's done that. Been the winningest coach in the NFL since '72. Dino Hall's not done yet. The little guy comes out across the 35-yard line, gets to the 37. Randy Grossman playing special teams. He goes both ways for the Steelers, made the hit. So now Cleveland will try to get something cooking again. They've not moved the ball at all. They did the one possession, you remember, got it down close, and then the field goal attempt by Cockcroft was just wide.
A lot of good things, Don, have got to happen for Cleveland to even get back in the ball game. They've got to score twice. Not an easy group to score against.
And the weather is just like the Steelers like it. It's getting a little ugly now. Gusting winds as Brian Sight has to throw into it. He's looking, loops it out. Well thrown ball. Calvin Hill makes the reception, and the big guy from Yale is down to the 32-yard line. Nice play for the Cleveland Browns, and they'll need many more of those.
Calvin Hill runs patterns with any halfback in the game. He gives himself a lot of room when he gets by the linebackers. Little play action pass. You can see both Dirt Winston and that is Jack Lambert out there trying to recoup on and make a big play. Just a very well thrown ball.
Browns think they could get an overmatch there. Winston, normally a backup middle linebacker, is outside right now. Starting today, Houston leading St. Louis 17-10 fourth quarter game. So the Oilers looking to hold to their share of the AFC Central lead. It's first down and 10 now for the Browns. 32-yard line. Pittsburgh, and Ryan Sight's going to go down slowly and almost in pieces.
Well, bad snap from the center. When that happens, get what you can, fall on the ball, and go back and regroup.
7-7 is the score at the Superdome in New Orleans. The Rams and the Saints. Galbraith ran in for a touchdown for New Orleans. Wendell Tyler came back and scored for the Rams. 5-yard run. Sam Rutigliano Quarterback coach Jim Schaffner, your old pal from San Francisco, John.
They're looking a little glum right now.
You got to go way down in your bag of tricks to get back in this. As the Steelers have command of the game, 27-0. Second quarter. Second down and 8. Forward run. He explodes up the middle, gets ahead for a first down to the 21-yard line. So the Browns moving nicely off the snap of the ball, get the break in the Steeler defensive front. Donnie Shell and Mike Wagner, the safeties, were on the tackle. It's going to be first down now for Cleveland as they've advanced the ball to the 21-yard line of Pittsburgh. First half clock shows 11:55 to play. Cleo Miller comes in the backfield of the Browns.
Now there's so much time left that just a little bit of a letdown by Pittsburgh could allow Cleveland to get back in the ball game. We've seen a lot stranger things happen. Houston won after being down 24-0 just a couple weeks ago.
That's right. Ryan Sipe takes a look. They're taking care of Ryan. He's got time. Let's a rip. Here's a man open. Cleo Miller. Somebody else came from off the play, made the reception, and it's going to be a first down inside the 5-yard line. Ozzie Newsome came from off the play. The ball was intended for another guy, and Newsome grabbed at it and made the reception.
It was intended for Miller, but Newsome came back. He was simply a decoy on the play, kind of bent back around J.T. Thomas, made a fine play. He didn't even know Cleo was in the area.
So the big guy from Bama, Ozzie Newsome, brings the Browns down close. They'll have it first and goal from the 2-yard line. Temperature in the 40s. Winds are gusting. Lights are on. The Browns as close as they've been in this football game. Ryan Sipe rolls out, takes a look into the end zone. Intercepted! Donnie Shell intercepted the football. And they're up and swinging. Mike Pruitt lost the ball, came in a little high, had both hands on it, though. He should have caught it.
Well, when it rains, it pours. You know, the ball was thrown a little hard. Sipe actually had a lot of time. He didn't expect to have as much time as he was given, and Shell just kind of ran into a bobbled ball. Take a look. Here's a little bootleg play. He's got Rising out in front of him. He finds Mike Pruitt in the end zone. A little bobble allows Shell to get on the ball, and they get another turnover.
So the Steelers are getting it every which way. The Browns have been down close twice, have come up empty. It is 27-0 Pittsburgh. We'll be back in a moment. The Otis Brown went 3 yards out for a Cardinal touchdown. Got to have a very direct bearing on the outcome and the standings in the American Football Conference Central Division that game. Hand off to Thornton, and he rips up the middle. Gets out on a 1st and 10 play to the 27-yard line. They say Ted Marchibroda's job is on the line. Should Baltimore lose this week, they're in front of the Jets. Dallas holding to a 10-7 lead over Minnesota. Second down and 3. Franco runs. Gets the ball out to the 28-yard line. Now the Browns dig down. Linebackers come up tight. It is 3rd and 2 for the Steelers. They go to the power run. Thornton puts his head down. Cleveland's there to hit him, knock him down short of the first down. So the Browns will get a ball back now on the punt for the first time in this game. Nicky Sims, number 78, the left tackle, made the hit. And also on to the Cleveland Browns. They cut him earlier. Of course, Keith Wright, the fine punt returner, is down for the season with a knee operation.
This is the way the punter sees it, Don.
Line drive punt by Colquitt. Dino Hall is going to have a problem here as he eludes the man who came down to make the first play. And Dino Hall's not done yet. Lost the ball again briefly, but got it back. He's out to the 39-yard line. Down first for the Pittsburgh Steelers was Larry Anderson, but he missed him. And right now we'll take a break in the action with the Steelers still in command, 27-0. First at 12:30 Eastern Time, NFL 79 with Brian Gumbel and Mike Adamle. And a look at Wild West football, Canadian style in Calgary. Then most of the country will see the big interconference matchup between the high-powered Patriots and the Bears with Walter Payton, who won the game today at Buffalo. Other key games, Buffalo at Miami, the Seahawks and the Chargers, Denver versus the Chiefs. Now, Pruitt comes out wide, and he is down inside the 45-yard line before Lambert finally ran him down. And
there again, they're trying to pick on Dennis Winston. Now, he's an outstanding middle linebacker. He hasn't played the outside. He has to go in because 2 or 3 injuries have occurred. They have been able to isolate him a couple times. When they have, they've been effective. Still haven't got any points on the board. It's a long way back from 27-zip.
Ooh, man, that is a big hole you've dug yourself. 27-0. Pittsburgh is in the lead. The Browns have moved the ball on 2 possessions once they were down point-blank range. An interception in the end zone stopped them. Another time missed field goal. Here's Pruitt. He gets some open room. And Pruitt on a first down carry rips ahead for close to 10 yards. He got 9. It'll be 2nd and 1. Dennis Winston, 53, made the tackle. Pruitt comes into the game as Cleveland's leading rusher. He's averaging 3.5 yards a carry. He's up close to 300 yards for the season now after his efforts here in the first half. The Steelers with Banaszak at right end. Down at right tackle is Furness. Joe Green and Greenwood, the front 4. Now Gary Dunn. He's gone out. Beasley has come in. He's playing the left end. Handoff goes and over the middle goes Kelvin Hill, and he's down close to the 32-yard line. Kelvin Hill gets a first down for the Cleveland Browns with 7:06 to play in the first half.
I really think Cleveland has a chance to get back in the ball game. It's very difficult to keep your intensity level as high as they have.
The Browns should have 10, but that Pittsburgh defense denied them, and this field goal also stopped a 3-point attempt. And here is Sipe as a penalty marker goes down. He's lofting it into the end zone. Rucker is in there, but there is a penalty marker down. A penalty marker is down on the field.
It's a touchdown. Looked like a defensive penalty, and that's what we're talking about. That time, Rucker goes down, beats a little double coverage. There was really nothing to it, and he just ran a simple little pattern. He was down there beating 2 people, and Sipe threw the ball. It's like, ho hum, how easy it is. Here we go, Reggie Rucker. This is a double coverage. He's got Donnie Shell, who thinks he's going to make the cut down about 15 yards deep. He just turns it out. Sipe throws him the ball, and they've closed the gap a bit.
They have indeed. Here is a good throw, and Rucker right out there takes it, makes sure he's got it. Into the end zone he goes. So the call was against the Steelers, and the play goes, and the Browns are on the board for the first time in the game. Cockcroft ready to throw a point after attempt with Logan holding, and he is right through the uprights. So with 6:28 left to play in the first half now, the score is the Pittsburgh Steelers 27, the Cleveland Browns 7. They'll be back at Cleveland Stadium in a moment. A knee for Cleveland's all-purpose back, the former Oklahoma Sooner. Boy, can he play. Not big enough to play, they told him. He was a 5'2" tight end in high school.
He was probably taller than the other guys, though.
About 80 passes. Cockcroft kicks off and kicks off well. He drives it into the end zone. This won't come back. Larry Anderson fields it over the shoulder. I'll tell you, the Browns might be down, but they're pretty high as their defense now comes running out onto the field. So it will be 1st and 10 for the Pittsburgh Steelers. They have a 27-7 lead. They've converted 2 Brown fumble recoveries into subsequent touchdowns. They've done it without Lynn Swann, who stands on the sideline. Winners tell jokes and losers say deal, says Lynn Swann.
Yeah, but this game's still in, we're still playing this game. 2.5 quarters to go.
80,000. This arena has been sold out for some 6 weeks. Start up now as Harris goes wide. And the Browns finally knock him down, but 5 yards downfield. Here's a penalty coming in, John, after the play.
I don't think it was for anything after the play. I think it was a holding penalty. We'll see. This is a big series of plays for Cleveland. They could have 17 points and be right in the thick of things, but they're playing well offensively. Their defense knows it. If they can hold them as they did the last time, they can still get within reach. 13 points is not out of reach. They only need 1 touchdown to get within that area.
There's Jim Tunney, our referee.
Holding, 10 yards, number 38, still first down.
Sidney Thornton was caught holding, and so now the Steelers are set back to their 10-yard line. It'll be 1st and 20. We'll look at it again.
Let's take a look. Sidney Thornton's the man that got called.
He was
trying to help out his back.
Clay Matthews. Paul, Jackson, and Matthews backing the line for the Cleveland Browns. Bradshaw guns the ball out to Benny Cunningham, and he ran into his own tackle, Larry Brown, and also into Clarence Scott, the strong safety who came in for the Cleveland Browns. So the knockdown is made, and the Steelers fall. You get a funny feeling about this game, John.
You just have the feeling sometimes. You could almost feel Pittsburgh just get a little bit listless after they got their 27th point, and now Cleveland getting 7 points on the board is kind of pumped up. They know they have a chance to get back in it. It's a home crowd, and a lot stranger things have happened.
Now some new people come in on the Browns defense. Rich Dimler, a big, tough tackle from Southern California, comes in. Sims comes out. They go to a 4-1-6 defense. They've got 6 defensive backs in the game. Clinton Burrell comes in the game, rookie from LSU. Here's a handoff. They go to the draw, and there's nothing there. Browns shut it right down, and they're really starting up in Cleveland now. Jerry Shirk, number 72, an all-pro football player, makes the big play.
You can tell the people in the stands feel the same thing. When you get a 27-7 game and the home team's got the 7 and the fans are as excited as these people are, there's something going on here that I'm not quite aware of, but they're going to get the ball back. They've got plenty of time to put another drive together.
There's something happening here in Cleveland now as Shirk makes the big play. These Browns are hanging tough. A long way to go, 4:50 to play in the first half. Now it is 3rd and 23 for Bradshaw and the Steelers. They go to the run, and Rocky Bleier gets some of it back, but not nearly enough, and the Browns will get the football back. Lyle Alzado, 77 on the stop for Cleveland. Jerry Shirk's a tough guy to block.
Well, Shirk gets good penetration. Sam Davis trying to handle Shirk alone is a tough thing to do. He does his job. He gives Bleier a chance to get into the secondary. Just too many yards to pick up.
That Matthews will hit somebody, 57. He comes over the top. And now Colquitt standing back almost at his goal line. They've got Ozzie Newsome in the return punts. Colquitt, boy, he can hit it. Newsome signals for and makes a fair catch. So now the Browns go on offense 1st and 10, and we pause briefly for station identification. This is the NBC television network.
This is WIC-TV, your new spirit station in Pittsburgh.
Here's a big score. 4th quarter, Astrodome, Houston, Texas. Cardinals 24, the Houston Oilers 17. Wayne Morris just scored with 2:35 left. So that holds up. The winner of this game will take over sole possession of first place in the AFC Central. 2nd quarter, the Chargers and Broncos still have not put points up. That was a 48-yard punt by Craig Colquitt of the Steelers. 1st and 10, Cleveland Browns at their 37. Sight takes a look. The completion is made to Mike Pruitt. He is ahead to the 41-yard line. Didn't get much, got some, got 3. Scores coming in as the 1 o'clock games are winding up. 2nd quarter score now. This was a 2 o'clock kickoff at Baltimore. The Colts are leading the Jets 10-0. Baltimore winless going into the game. Dallas has now moved out in front 17-7 over Minnesota. They're playing at Bloomington, Minnesota. Dorsett has run for 2 touchdowns for Dallas from 3 yards out both times. The last time Cleveland played at home was a Monday night game against Dallas when the Browns scored one of their biggest wins ever against John.
Pigs turned around just the other way, and you can see Dallas trying to come back.
It's 2nd down and 6 now for Cleveland. They go to the run. Pruitt dips outside. Mike Pruitt running hard. Puts his shoulder into Mel Blount and into Jack Lambert and takes the ball to the 50-yard line. It's a 1st down for the Cleveland Browns.
Offensively, Cleveland is moving the ball. They're probably as effective as anybody's been against Pittsburgh all year long. And they've, as we mentioned, they've got over 30 minutes to play. They've got over 3 minutes in this half. And they're moving.
They really are. They're moving the ball against the Steelers. Have all game, but have not been able to get any more than 7 points. Now getting out of bounds, Pruitt not only got the 1st down, but he stopped the clock with 3:13 left to play in the first half. Sam Rutigliano seeing his offense come to life now. Browns scored in their last possession. They're at their 49-yard line, 1st and 10. Sight drops. He's looking at Logan. Logan over the middle. It's too much on it. And Mel Blount, an all-pro cornerback, almost had the interception. Mel Blount, 6'4", weighs 218 pounds. He's a cornerback.
And he can fly.
He can get downfield. They say, John, on one-on-one coverage, he's as good as there is.
I think he is as good. Lewis Wright is outstanding. And Jimmy Johnson. It's funny. All those fellas are built alike too. They're over 6 foot tall, long legs, and they can really cover. Usually, you don't see the long-legged fellas playing corner, but these are exceptions.
Steelers are very seldom, though, in man-to-man coverage. They're still in that zone most of the time. I guess just about everybody.
Well, they put Blount one-on-one a lot.
When they blitz,
he's so good.
When they blitz, he'll be one-on-one. Penalty markers go down. Ozzie Newsome was running a deep pattern. He's always a threat. He could be more as the game wears on. Last week, when they were upset by the Philadelphia Eagles,
Defensive encroachment.
Defensive encroachment, a 5-yard assessment will be marked off against the Pittsburgh Steelers. Last week against Philadelphia, Kreftley, the tight end for the Eagles, on a straight release in the tight end position, got 92 yards on 4 catches.
Encroachment 75 and 68. Still second down.
Rich Kotite, one of the assistant coaches for the Browns, says the guy they're really concerned about is Shell back there. Look at this.
Tells you how good Pittsburgh has been coming into this ball game, and Cleveland's moving the ball.
Second down and 5 now for the Cleveland Browns. 46-yard line of Pittsburgh. Sipe, play faking. He's got a problem. He unloads. Newsom catches the ball. So Brian Sipe did very well not only to elude the rush, just to get rid of the ball. It is a completion.
He sure did a good job to get rid of the ball. He had none of his receivers open. He was caught. This is when you're having a little problem. You don't have any backs out. He kept a few backs in to help block. Greenwood got by a few blockers early. When he did so, Sipe made a fine play just to get rid of it.
The one thing, John, you have to be concerned about when you play the Pittsburgh Steelers is the fourth quarter. This year, they've outscored the opposition in the fourth quarter 52-7. So they come at you in the last 15 minutes hard.
They came at the Browns pretty hard in the first quarter.
Did they? It was 21-0 at the end of the first quarter, and a couple plays into the second quarter it was 27-0 Pittsburgh. Now it's 27-7 as Sipe on third down at 7. Arcs a long one. Little bumping downfield. J.T. Thomas was on the coverage of Rucker, but it's clean all the way. The official right on the play.
Don Rucker's had a little leg problem. He hasn't been able to run at full speed, which is the reason we mentioned you might see a Willis Smith or a John Smith or Willis Adams. You can see right now he's one-on-one. Sipe's got the defense he wants, but Rucker can't outrun J.T. Thomas. And if you get the right defense, you still have to be able to execute.
He's a great comeback story. His career was over last year because of a blood disorder, unusual illness, but J.T. Thomas is back and playing strong football for the Steelers, and now the Browns will have to punt with 2 minutes left. Oh, they're going to throw the ball. Johnny Evans, first down. Great play. He goes to feature. Johnny Evans was a quarterback at North Carolina State. He goes to Ricky Feature for the first down.
And Schaaf said he may be an outstanding quarterback before he's through, but when your punter can throw the ball, boy, is that an edge. And he hasn't shown it all year long. That's the first throw he's made during the regular season, right on the money. And Cleveland keeps its drive alive.
So with 2 minutes left to play in the first half, the Browns get it going now, and they're starting to mount another challenge, looking to get back in this football game. The first NFL completion for Johnny Evans is a big one, and we'll be back with the Browns with the 1st and 10 in a moment. Brody, this is Don Criqui back at Cleveland Stadium. 2 minutes left to play in the first half. The Browns fell behind 27-0 to the world champion Steelers. Now Cleveland, scoring on its last possession, is driving again. The Browns have the ball at the 34-yard line of Pittsburgh with 2 minutes to play in the half. It's 1st and 10 Cleveland. Logan goes wide to the right. Reggie Rucker is wide to the left. He got in the end zone the last time the Browns had the ball. And Sipe is looking at Rucker. Here's Ozzie Newsome, just a little bit long.
I'll tell you, that Donnie Shell did a heck of a job of covering, because Newsome did get one-on-one with Shell. Wagner was out of the play completely, and he stayed right with him. Okay, everybody in the house knows he's going to throw, but to whom? Newsome goes right down the field. Shell's with him man for man, covers him all the way.
The man that Bear Bryant said is the best pass catcher we ever had at Alabama. They asked Bear Bryant one time if they ever retired his number as a college player. He said, nope, because I wore a different one every week. We all did. That's how we sold programs. Second down and 10 for the Cleveland Browns. Logan is in. Rucker is in. Flank to either side. Brian Sipe, a cool man when the heat is on, directing the Browns offense. He takes the drop. Good pass block. Here's Calvin Hill open. And Hill goes out of bounds inside the 20-yard line with 1:48 to play in the first half.
Again, they were able to catch Winston one-on-one with a halfback. You know, it's really difficult. People say, hey, if you're a linebacker, you're a linebacker. Sure, we know, but he hasn't played the outside. He's got to play it right now because Cole's hurting, and they've got a couple other injuries to go with him. He's the most experienced linebacker they have at this time, and he's filling in. He's doing the best he can, but it's awful tough to cover an area you're not accustomed to.
That's what the Browns were going to work on. And now you see Zach Valentine goes in. They're going to try another man at that outside position. Zach Valentine, a rookie from East Carolina, is in on the He's doubling up now, and Logan, he's coming over, doubling up along with the cornerback Blunt. Steelers have a mistake in their coverage. The defensive backs are waving at each other. Sipe is looking at it. 1st and 10, end zone throw. Rucker was there. John, you really get the feeling the Browns are going to be able to score. They're getting people open.
Well, that time they had the proper call against the proper defense. Donnie Shell had to watch Newsome all by himself. However, Newsome couldn't get loose. Sipe ended up having to throw the ball away, and it's one thing to call a proper play. It's another thing to be able to execute.
Chuck Noll going with a lot of people on his defensive line. Dwight White, number 78, is now in the game. He is the right end, has been in there. Gary Dunn, the right tackle. Joe Green, the left tackle, and Tom Beasley, the left end, 65. Rucker goes out of the game now. Ricky Feature comes in. It's 2nd down and 10 for the Browns. 19-yard line of Pittsburgh. Sipe looks. Runs it. It's caught by Ozzie Newsome. Touchdown, Cleveland.
Hey, it's tough, Don. When you've had a 27-0 lead, now it looks like you're back within 2 touchdowns of having a problem, and it's tough to get up off the floor.
Ozzie Newsome came across the middle on a tight end release to the weak side. He scooted out behind the linebackers. We'll watch him catch the ball and take it in.
And you can see Mike Pruitt gave him a fine block to help out. Pruitt's on the outside. Newsome cuts behind him. He just upends Thomas, and they're in for 6.
And so now the Browns are on the ball again with 1:35 left to play in the first half. And they're looking for their 14th point. And that missed extra point by Matt Barr could ultimately in this game be a big one. Cockcroft nails it. Gee, if the Browns ever had all the points they should have, this would be airtight. Cleveland turns the game around and gets back in the second quarter. We'll be back with what has turned into a very exciting football game. Heating up here in Cleveland. We still might be switching part of our network to Denver and San Diego. They're still in a scoreless tie out at Mile High Stadium as the wind gusts down on the playing field and blows the ball off the tee for Don Cockcroft. 1:35 left to play in the first half. Cleveland scoring on its last 2 possessions after missing earlier chances. Now trails the Steelers 27-14, and the impetus is turned around. It's in the white shirts now.
This is very untypical of Pittsburgh-Cleveland ball games. Most of them are very low-scoring, hard-fought in the trenches. Everybody's trying to control the ball. This one, the ball is up for grabs.
The Browns' offensive line has really done a good job in the second quarter taking care of Sipe. They've given him time to throw, and he has been there with the football.
He's been there for the last 10 or 12 games that he's played with Cleveland. He's turned into an outstanding quarterback.
Don Cockcroft with the ball teed up. You'll recall his last one was hit 9 yards into the end zone. Last kickoff. This one is going to carry now. The gusting wind holds it. And Larry Anderson brings it across the 10. He's to the 20. Turns to the outside. And Anderson's across the 30. And all the way out to the 45-yard line to the 47-yard line. So Larry Anderson, explosive kick returner, brings the ball back nicely for the Steelers. A 42-yard return. And Bradshaw and the Steeler offense now has enough time to possibly get something else up. Willis Adams was on the tackle for Cleveland. The ball all the way out to the Steelers' 47-yard line. Bradshaw having a great day throwing the ball. You couldn't have a better one. He's put it up 6 times, has completed 6, 2 for touchdowns. Pump faking. Completion is down to the 42-yard line. John Stallworth came back at the football. Looked like a Brown defensive back. Might have a play on it. But the reception is made. John?
Don, you can see that Bradshaw knows the whole trend of momentum has changed. They have to get back on the offense. They were starting to hold the ball, trying to control it, almost just kind of eating up the clock with a little over 2 quarters to play. Now they know they're back in a ball game. They've got to go and attack.
Sam Ratigliano starting to feel a little better about this. Tonight on NBC, Disney's Wonderful World will be coming up at 7 o'clock Eastern Time. Part 2 of the $1 Million Duck, starring Dean Jones. At 8 o'clock, it is a big event. Great. He'll pick up that blitz and send it back the other way. 1st and 10 Steelers. They go to a draw play, and Thornton doesn't get much. Short playing a brilliant game. Again, fights off the block. Got a piece of Sidney Thornton. And the clock continues to run, and it's going to wind down to a minute now. The Steelers going into formation without a huddle. That is the game clock you see winding down. 2nd and 10. Bradshaw takes a look deep. Now triggers it to Rocky Bleier. And Bleier is down close to the 30-yard line, very near to a first down. He might have it, John.
Excellent pattern all the way. Bradshaw just kind of looked people off, let Bleier come out, laid out of the backfield. There were no linebackers in the area, picked up a first down, and they're on the move with 46 seconds left.
Now we have a conversation on the sideline as Bradshaw comes over to talk to Chuck Nollers. Dick Hoke, a longtime running back with the Steelers. What are they saying?
I don't really think there's any wisdom going on. It's just they're trying to discuss how to handle their timeouts, what plays they feel they might call at this time. There are probably 2 or 3 thoughts that he'll go out there with. I think Chuck Noll is an outstanding offensive coach.
See the lights on this now very cold afternoon here in Cleveland. Temperature dropping and the wind is picking up in intensity. Right here we see the Steelers 8th on offense and rushing, 4th in passing, 7th overall. Cleveland grading out as the 8th best defensive team at this point. Charlie Hall goes out and Dave Graff comes in to play linebacker. The wind is really gusting now. It's a very unusual wind. You can't tell which way it's going to come at you from before.
Well, I don't think it's not with Pittsburgh. If there is any wind at all, it's going the other way. 3rd down and a foot. If they do try to pick up the first down, which I think they will, I really think they will, they've still got time. Get back on the ball. Let's get another play. That's what they were discussing, I'm sure, when they went to the sideline.
They break the huddle. They send Jim Smith wide to the right. John Starwood is on the left. Bradshaw goes to the run. That's just what they do. They go for the first down. Thornton runs it down to the 25-yard line and also advances the ball to the middle of the field. 35 seconds left. And the Steelers with timeouts left. They're right into formation. Bradshaw takes a look. Ball was tipped. Alzado was up. Nicky Sims was up. We'll see who gets credit for the tip ball because
it was Sims.
Lots of guys were wide open swinging out. Nice patterns being run by the Steelers.
That's, you know, Don, that's really about the only way you can protect against a back coming out of the backfield late after the linebacker has moved into his drop area. You've got to depend on your lineman to get their hands up and get a piece of the ball.
Well, it worked that time for the Browns. That's the first incompletion of the day for Terry Bradshaw. 26 seconds left to play first half. Score, Cleveland trailing Pittsburgh 27-14. Browns defense trying to stave off the Pittsburgh Steelers who are looking to put up some more before halftime. 2nd and 10. Bradshaw looking long over the middle. Came in short to Benny Cunningham. 3rd down and 10. It's going to be a tough field goal if the Steelers don't advance the ball on this play, on this 3rd down 10 play coming up. Barr, the rookie place kicker from Penn State, was having a lot of problems in pregame and at yesterday's practice getting it through here with the wind.
And he's going a little bit against it at this time.
It's difficult for the college kickers to come into the NFL because in college, as you may know, they use a kicking tee on field goals and extra points. In the pros, you kick it off the dirt or the fuzzy concrete, whatever you're playing on.
Or whatever.
Bradshaw on 3rd and 10 looks into the end zone. He's got a problem now. And he throws the ball away. Let's see if they call him on the grounding. They do not. They think they should in Cleveland. 80,000 people up calling the play, but Jim Tunney is the man who makes that decision.
Well, Tunney was sitting there making sure of the play between the tackles, the rush, and Bradshaw. And I don't even think he saw the ball being released by Terry.
Mike St. Clair says, hey, of course, the intentional grounding is a loss of down. Now the field goal attempt. It'll be a 43-yard attempt. The wind is blowing. The fans are also trying to work on Barr. That's not going to get there. It does. It makes the upright. It was held up and came down and crossed the bar. It looked like it was going to come up short. So Matt Barr delivers a real clutch field goal for the Pittsburgh Steelers. And they extend their lead to 30-14.
And it's a good distance. It's a long 42 yards, Don.
The wind almost stopped it, but it dropped over the crossbar. The bar 10 feet in the air, and Matt Barr hits an important field goal for the Pittsburgh Steelers. And with 11 seconds left to play in the first half, It is the Steelers 30, the Browns 14, and Chuck Noll said, let's get it on here and get after these guys. Ready to kick off is Matt Barr. Many of our stations around the NBC network will be going to news at halftime. So very briefly, after this kickoff, we're going to update the other scores around the league for you. Matt Barr. Ready to hit the ball. Dino Hall is back deep now for the Browns. He's 5'7" with cleats on and a helmet on. Not too big, but he's not afraid. In the middle he goes. It's Dino Hall. Let me at those big guys. I'll whack him.
Boy.
Anthony Anderson finally knocks him down. John?
Don, he just escaped a collision between, and you can see the two Pittsburgh Steelers who are in on the play. Larry Anderson's getting up very slow. Take a look. This is Zach Valentine coming down on the play. Dino Smith runs right through a collision, just barely got through it. We don't see it on the screen, but it happened.
So while a Pittsburgh player is down, we'll review the scores around the rest of the National Football League. San Diego and Denver at halftime have not scored. It is a 0-0 tie at Mile High Stadium. LA has now moved out to a 21-7 lead over the Saints at the Superdome, and even as we speak, the Rams get in the end zone again. 28-7. 5 seconds left to play in the first half here at Cleveland Stadium. The Browns have the ball as an injured Steeler is attended to. All right. Tom Graves, rookie linebacker from Michigan State. Is all right. Second quarter score. Baltimore leading the Jets as they did in the first quarter. It is 10-0 Colts. They need a win so badly. They say Marchibroda could be gone if the Colts do not come out on top this week. They go into the game 0-5. Giants won their first game today. They beat the previously unbeaten Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Dallas leading Minnesota in the third quarter, 23-10. Brian Sipe takes a look long. Last play of the half. He's going to throw the home run ball.
Better get
intercepted. Mike Wagner has it. He's not done yet. Looking for blockers. Looking to lateral. Calhoun don't want the ball at this point. Right now, Wagner takes it across the 45 and gets to the 47. So the first half ends.
You know, when a team gets off to a 27-0 lead, it's almost too much too quick, and a team can't have it. Now, Cleveland has been running the ball, moving the ball in the air effectively. If they continue to do this, we've got a ball game left.
Right now, let's go to Brian Gumbel in New York.
Sunday number 6 has been a Sunday of upset and confrontation. Upset for that man, John McKay, coach of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, because of this man, Billy Taylor. For the Giants, he rushed for over 100 yards today, scored 2 touchdowns. The Giants post their first victory of the season. Tampa Bay knocked from the ranks of the unbeaten after 6 weeks. The NFL has no unbeaten teams. In Cleveland, 2 teams battling out for first place, the Steelers and the Browns. Franco Harris having a big afternoon, 70 yards on this play. The Steelers rush into a big early lead. They lead at halftime by 16 points. Hello again, everyone. Brian Gumbel and Mike Adamle welcoming you back to NFL 79. Let's try to get you caught up very quickly on what's happening this Sunday. Kansas City Chiefs, very young, very good ball club. They win their 3rd straight. They beat the Bengals 10-7. Cincinnati still winless.
In the Meadowlands, the New York Giants, it was the first start for quarterback Phil Simms. It didn't matter. He didn't have a very good day, 37 yards. He handed off to Billy Taylor, 144 yards, 2 TDs.
Washington, a loser to Philadelphia today, 28-17. That final, Wilbert Montgomery scored 3 touchdowns.
New England over Detroit, 24-17. They're having problems again. It wasn't until a Tom Owen touchdown pass to Don Calhoun that they went ahead.
Sweet Walter Payton, 39 carries, 155 yards. The Bears turned back the Bills and shut them out 7-0.
Atlanta, big winner over the puzzling Green Bay Packers, 25-7. 3 Tim Mazzetti field goals, the difference in that one.
You think they're puzzling. Figure this one out. The Oilers dropped to 4-2. The Cardinals beat them 24-17. That's an upset.
Quite an offensive showing in the Municipal Stadium in Cleveland, Ohio, 30-14. That's the score. Terry Bradshaw, 3 touchdown passes. Brian Sipe, 2.
We're not sure what the Broncos and Chargers are doing. 3rd quarter, there's no score. Is that possible?
I don't know. But halftime in Los Angeles, or in New Orleans, 28-7. 2 Wendell Tyler touchdown runs, 2 Pat Hayden touchdown passes.
Jets, Baltimore, Colts seeking their first win out in front 10-3.
And Dallas, Minnesota up in Bloomington, 23-10 at halftime.
And Seattle leading San Francisco right now 14-7. Remember, the 49ers still without a win this year. We've got a second half of football to come. We'll get to it after this commercial break.
Well, hello, Cleveland. As we're back now at Cleveland Stadium. Don Criqui with John Brody ready for the 3rd quarter. The Steelers have come out onto the field. Brian Sipe has done a good job in the blowing wind. Terry Bradshaw has been even better. as we'll take a look at statistically how this game breaks down at the Steelers in the lead 30-14.
Well, Terry Bradshaw had such an outstanding first half. Everything came so easy for him. At one time, he was 7 for 7, and he'd thrown 3 touchdowns. Now, it's just been real easy for Pittsburgh. Then they had to get back and do some playing toward the end of the first half. He took them down for another 3-pointer and a 16-point lead. I don't really think those statistics are indicative of the difference in the score. I mean, the Browns actually had the ball longer than did Pittsburgh. They scored so quick when they got it, they didn't have it much.
Art's only great. 30-14 is the score. Lyle Alzado getting taped up. Getting cleaned off. They're going to put a new hoof on there. Off track today. A little muddy down on the playing field.
He's been a big addition since he's come over from Denver, Don, and he's had a lot to do with these guys coordinating their defense. Last week he couldn't play, and it hurt him badly, I think. Today he's playing very well, but their defense has been a little suspect.
I guess you go with whatever works. They start using different shoes. This, of course, is a natural grass field. A good part of it natural mud after heavy rains. And, of course, the baseball infield is still down as the Indians just got done. Steelers will be receiving to start the third quarter. And teeing up the ball is Don Cockcroft. The swirling, gusting wind. Temperature must be somewhere in the mid-40s now. The chill factor from this wind brings it below that. So we're ready to go in the third quarter as the Pittsburgh Steelers, after leading 27-0, now have a 30-14 lead. And momentum was with the Browns before Pittsburgh finally scored on a field goal just before the end of the half. Up back takes it. Coming downfield with the ball is Greg Hawthorne, the rookie #1 draft choice. He's a power back out of Baylor, and he gets the ball across the 35-yard line out to about the 39. Tackled by Randy Rich. Now, sir, as we break down the Pittsburgh Steelers on offense, you see the Cleveland Brown defensive unit come out. The quarterback is Bradshaw, wide receivers 82 Starworth and 86 Jim Smith. Benny Cunningham, 89, is now in a tight end. He's been alternating with Randy Grossman. The setbacks are Sidney Thornton and Franco Harris. They've both been in the end zone today for Pittsburgh. Mike Webster, an all-pro, down over the ball at center. Mullins and Davis the guards. Kolb and Larry Brown the tackles, and here comes Thornton running out hard. He gets out across the 40-yard line. Mike St. Clair, 74, is at left end for the Browns. Mickey Sims and Jerry Shirk the tackles. Lyle Alzado the end. Robert Jackson backs the line in the middle. Matthews and Hall are the outside backers. Bolton and Davis at the corners. Scott and Darden are the safeties as the handoff goes to Franco Harris. On a 2nd down and 5 carry, he gets close, but not enough for the first down. They do turn football games around. Himmler is now in the game with defensive tackle for Shirk. 3rd and less than 2 yards for Pittsburgh. Grossman goes in motion. Handoff up the middle, and Franco Harris, who you remember took one the distance on a 3rd and short yardage. Remember, he went 71 yards for a touchdown. Sam Davis blocking well for the Pittsburgh Steelers.
Sam Davis has blocked well for a long, long time. He's been their offensive captain. He's their workhorse. Once you stand somebody up at the line of scrimmage, you're doing your job.
You've won the collision.
Decline. First down.
Call against the Cleveland Browns has declined. It's a first down in the carry as the ball is advanced down now to the 47-yard line of Cleveland. So the Steelers break the huddle. First down and 10. 13:25 to play in the third quarter. Thornton runs hard to the 45-yard line, and he is knocked down by the middle linebacker Robert Jackson. Short gain on the play. It's going to be 2nd down and a long 8 for the Steelers. 45-yard line of Cleveland. Bradshaw coming out with a conservative offense. He can afford that with a 30-14 lead.
Well, they're doing right now what they thought they could do when they started the ball game. They thought they could trap Cleveland. Their ends come up the field a little bit, and Pittsburgh's been a trapping team since Noel got there, and they've been doing it pretty well.
Bradshaw play fake and looks long. Guns the ball out. Comes in on a 1 hop to John Stallworth. Browns getting back real well in that zone coverage. Matthews, the outside linebacker on the right side, takes a very quick drop.
And you know, Don, Robert Jackson was in the lane very swiftly that time. He's been playing the run much better this week than he did last week against Houston. I think one game really helps a guy get his feet on the ground, and I think at the middle he's played very well. You can see there's quite a congestion in there. Little play action pass. Nobody gets to Terry, but nobody gets open either.
Now the Browns go to extra defensive backs. 3rd down and 8. Bradshaw with a deep drop. Home run ball. Jim Smith going for it. He loses the ball at the 2-yard line. The cornerback, Ron Bolton, was with him stride for stride. They hit the infield, the dirt, and the footing went.
And Bolton felt very fortunate getting away without a touchdown on that or an interference penalty.
Can't tell if Jim Smith is disappointed or he's hurt. Apparently he's injured.
He's hurt.
He's holding his left knee. Jim Smith, the wide receiver, second-year, University of Michigan, is down at the 2-yard line where he lost the ball. And that will bring up 4th down. The Steeler punter's out. We'll watch it again here, John.
He's got good time. Offensive line giving him plenty of protection all day long. Nobody's really come close to Terry. He throws the ball pretty well. I think Smith will come up with 2 out of 3 of those.
Right now, Jim Smith is down, though. He is being attended to. He's been playing hurt. He's had a hamstring injury.
I think that one was, I think he got the wind knocked out of him.
That's good. He's okay. He might still riding the football. Now I'm going to take him out for a play. Webster is the punt snapper. There's the deep man. Ozzie Newsome is back to return punts now for the Cleveland Browns. Ball. He only got part of that one. It goes out of bounds at the 30, and so the Browns come out with relatively good field position. After this commercial, we'll be switching to San Diego and Denver for an update on that very close football game in the AFC West. At the moment, it is Denver 7, San Diego nothing. There's a timeout in the field here at Cleveland with the Steelers in the lead, 30-14. They're airing out the laundry here in Cleveland. The Browns fans waving the Browns bags, and the Steeler fans with the terrible towels. You got it all going here. Browns have the ball for the first time in the 3rd quarter. Brian Sipe drops to throw. Deep drop. He's got a man, but he zings it as Calvin Hill ran into one of the officials.
You bet he did. The official was looking at the line play. He got himself fixated to where he couldn't get out of the way of Calvin. Effectively busted up the pattern.
Ran into the umpire, Pat Harder.
That was a good old fullback. He has to get a little action every week.
Tell you, that umpire, he's got to stand in tall against right in the middle of that defense. Referee can play off. It's all be in front of him. It's 2nd down and 10 for the Cleveland Browns. Ball at the Brown 30-yard line as Sipe gives off on the run, and Pruitt doesn't get much at all. The Steeler defense shoots the gap. Jack Ham, who is projected as a man soon to go, or one day to go, to Canton, Ohio in the Hall of Fame. He's that good. Made the stop at the left linebacker. Gary Dunn, number 67, was also on the stop. Looking at the Steelers on defense, they've been aligning different people. Zach Valentine is now starting the 3rd quarter at outside linebacker. They've got Dennis Winston also in the game. Cleo Miller comes in the Cleveland backfield. Ricky Features in as a wide receiver. Sipe takes a drop, looks, he lets her loop. Knocked down by Dennis Winston. He was beaten earlier, you remember, by Calvin Hill. This time Winston is on the play.
Yeah, but he moved into the middle where he's very comfortable. He and Lambert were playing inside middle linebackers, both of them at the same time. And he took a fine angle. The ball was a little bit underthrown, and that's all Winston needed.
So Johnny Evans is in to punt. I don't think we'll see him throw the ball as he did the first time when he had that nice completion to keep a Browns drive alive. Evans, a good throwing punter because he was a good throwing quarterback at North Carolina State.
This is the throw that could have kept the drive alive, would have put them back on the move. They moved very effectively in the first half. Just a poorly thrown ball, really. Kept from getting a first down.
There's the snap. Ball hit end over end and hit fairly deep. T-Bell loses the football and falls on it. Theo Bell loses. I tell you, the wind comes into his boot. Just took John Brody's hat and scorecard and everything. Everything went adios. 11:38 left to play. third quarter. It's the Pittsburgh Steelers 30, the Cleveland Browns 14. We'll be back in a moment. Steelers come out. The crowd starts up here at Cleveland. 80,000 on hand at Cleveland Stadium. Steelers leading the game 30-14. Bradshaw, most valuable player in the league last year in most polls, gives off to Thornton, and Sidney Thornton, who comes into the game averaging 5.6 yards a rush, is shut down quickly by the Cleveland defense. Nicky Sims, number 78, was on the stop.
Cleveland's now tightening up a little bit, Don. They've been very tough against the run in the past 2 or 3 series.
Joining us in the booth is one of NBC's new football commentators, Mike Lucci, the former All-Pro middle linebacker for the Detroit Lions.
I helped him.
You get him some votes.
Every time he was going a little bad, I threw him a couple.
Second down and 8. Running with the ball is Franco Harris. He gets it out to the 40-yard line. And Franco Harris is knocked down. Charlie Hall, 59, and Clay Matthews, 57. The outside backers for the Browns were on the stop. Franco Harris got 71 of those in one fell swoop. Touchdown.
Okay, just a straight ahead block. They've got a combination between Shirk and Alzado. That's their responsibility. Did it very well.
Third down and 3. Here's a pitch back to Franco Harris, who has his first 100-yard game of this season. But he has had many. In fact, he's going to equal O.J. Simpson and Jim Brown as the only back to get 8,000 yards in his first 8 years in the National Football League. Lyle Alzado and Tom Darden were on the stop. It's only his 31st 100-yard game. Boy, he's listed at 6'2", 225. But if he isn't 6'4", 235, he's not a pound.
Our producer, Larry Cirillo, found out yesterday he got in his road. Lucky he could get out here.
Franco ran into him inadvertently in the end zone during a Steeler workout. And right now, it is dark in Cleveland. Ominous skies overhead. Gusting winds continue as the Steelers break the huddle under the lights. 10-10 left to play in the third quarter. Bradshaw steps up on first down. Harris goes wide, turns the corner, and he's knocked down at the 48-yard line. He got 5. Oliver Davis, not too big, made the play coming up from the corner, number 21. Oliver Davis and Ron Bolton at the corners, Clarence Scott and Tom Darden the safeties. Hall, Jackson, and Matthews back the line for Cleveland. Second down and 5 now for the Pittsburgh Steelers. Ball at their 47-yard line. Sidney Thornton turns the corner, turns upfield. He's not done yet. He is a truck, this man, from Northeast Louisiana, and Thornton crashes down inside the 25-yard line, and the Steelers are challenging again.
Well, as we watched earlier, we saw he picked up 58 yards on 13 carries. Pretty fair day. He's been just about par for him. He's been doing a lot for this team, coming up with big plays when they need it most. This time he picks up 20 to 27 yards when it looks like the defense has stopped the play dead.
Mike Webster makes his first block and isn't done yet. He's going to stay right with it.
Well, Mike is a very active guy, and when your center is as active as Mike is, it allows you to do a lot of things offensively that sometimes you can't do. He's got good size, but real good agility. Made a fine play there.
Mike can pump that iron. They've got 3 guys in the Steelers, Kolb and Webster.
There he goes.
Here goes Franco Harris into the end zone. So Franco Harris takes it into the end zone for yet another Pittsburgh touchdown, and it's 36-14 Steelers.
What Pittsburgh is known most for, their ability to trap right at the heart of the defense, right over the tackles. When Harris broke the line of scrimmage, he was in the end zone. I mean, everything was cleaned out. There was nothing left. Excellent trap block by Davis and the center Webster. When Franco gets out there, it's all over, folks.
Franco Harris with his first 100-yard day of the season. He might have his first 200-yard day before this one's over. Barr tries the extra point. It's good. Let's watch Franco tear it up from ground level.
It's the second play of the day that has gone so cleanly, so smooth. You can see Sam Davis comes out, just handles the defensive tackle before he can come in to close the play. Harris gets into the secondary, and the case is closed.
Touchdown Steelers into the end zone. We're going to have more. It is 37-14. The Steelers leading the Browns. Ready to play football once again at Cleveland. The Steelers ready to kick it off. They lead the game now. 37-14. Here is the kick downfield to Dino Hall of the Browns. He's to the 20, 25. He's to the 30. And little Dino Hall is finally swept under by a wave of those big Steelers at about the 33-yard line. Randy Grossman was down along with Valentine. So the Steelers stack up in touchdowns this year. They've been in the end zone 18 times.
Pretty good balance, but you notice their passing stats are just getting a little higher and a little higher and a little higher. When they need to, Terry will get it done.
There's a tremendous football game going on at Mile High Stadium, Denver, Colorado. We'll be updating that game with a report very shortly. And we may be picking up some of the coverage for you. As right now, it is 1st and 10, Cleveland Browns. 8:13 to play, third quarter. Willis Adams is in the game as a wide receiver. Swing pass goes to Adams. He can run. Adams gets out to the 38-yard line, close to 5 yards. The starting runners for the Steelers, John, Harris and Thornton, have 219 yards between them.
You can credit a lot of that to the backs, but a lot of it to the guards, because they were given a break at the point of attack right at the line of scrimmage, and that's due for about 130 of it.
The Browns break the huddle. A 2nd down and 5 coming up now for Cleveland at the Browns' 38-yard line. Pruitt turns upfield. Mike Pruitt runs ahead for a 1st down and gets the ball to the 47-yard line. Lambert knocked him down. Jack Lambert, the middle linebacker. Mike Pruitt's getting a lot of work here today for the Cleveland Browns. Furness, Joe Green on the tackles. L.C. Greenwood, defensive end, along with Dwight White. Sipe swings it out. Here's Pruitt, 230 pounds. Boy, I tell you, some big people hitting head-on out there. Whew. Show cards in those deals. There's no way to go but headlong into each other.
Now, those look like very simple patterns, but actually, Pruitt ran a very nice pattern. He stayed away, gave Sipe a good target to hit. Sipe looked down the field long enough so that he didn't tip off where he was coming with the ball. It made it a tough reaction for the linebackers to come back and make the play. Picked up 6, and boy, did they make the play.
2nd down and 2. Cleveland Browns on the Pittsburgh side of the field now. Sipe takes a drop. Wind is swirling. Brian Sipe lost it. A man is open. The ball is caught down to the 20-yard line. Reggie Rucker, who caught one earlier for a touchdown, brings the Browns all the way down to the 20-yard line of the Pittsburgh Steelers.
That was an excellent throw and an excellent adjustment by Rucker. I mean, when he got by Thomas, he was looking for the ball right now. And it was a double coverage. They short and longed him, and he just beat the coverage. Brian threw it at the right time and put it in the right place.
Well, I'm not sure what short and long of him is, but it worked.
Short and long of him means one goes up and gets him and the other stays back, fella. Except he couldn't get over there fast enough.
He got shorted a little bit. It's now 1st down Browns as Sipe looks into the end zone. Here's a rush. He throws. He's got a man open. A diving catch, and they lose the ball. Ozzie Newsome had it and lost it when he hit the dirt.
Boy, they have put a real responsibility, Don, on Donnie Shell all day long.
He comes right up on that tight end.
And he's taking him all over the field. And
That's
he figures,
right.
hey, I better get him right now, get what I can, because a little later it's going to be tough. And he's been following him all over the football field very effectively.
Once again, we look ground level as you see Newsome grab it. Now, this is an earlier one to Rucker. This one went for the 1st down to 20. So now the ball is at the 20. It's going to be 2nd down. We pause briefly for station identification. This is the NBC television network.
This is WIC-TV, your new spirit station in Pittsburgh.
Sipe lofts it into the end zone. Rucker's going for it. Too much on the ball. It'll be 3rd down and 10 for Cleveland.
You know what? The defense for Pittsburgh, those cornerbacks have been put in a bind. They've forced them to play man-to-man all over the field, trying to give their linebackers a little more help. And in doing so, it really puts a burden on both Blunt and Thomas. So far, they've been up to it.
So they have. They've played good football. At blitz comes, those corners are in single coverage.
Well, not even the blitz so much, Don, as it is they're trying to keep their safeties in to help their linebackers because they've been picking on the linebackers. Winston's playing a position he's not too familiar with, and they're going to him when they can. And this is their way of handling it.
And as you see, it is 3rd down and 10 now for the Cleveland Browns. Sight with the drop, 4-man rush from the Steelers. He swings, he hits Logan, and Dave Logan is down inside the 15. It'll be well short of a 1st down, and it'll bring up 4th down. Donnie Shell playing up tight. Watch him cover Newsom.
Again, he's got a tough job to do. He makes a fine play on Newsom, pushes him to the outside, and then recovers to come up and make the tackle on Logan.
Shell is one of those real finds. Free agent makes all pro. That was Dave Logan's first catch of the day. 4th down and about 3. Almost 4 for the Cleveland Browns. They're inside the Pittsburgh 15-yard line. Sight throws. He's got Calvin Hill open. He'll go into the end zone. Touchdown, Cleveland. Big play. Sight standing in against a big rush, and Calvin Hill was not picked up coming out of the backfield.
Well, it was a blitz. Calvin Hill baited. He got out. There was nobody on him. When he did so, Sight just had to lay the ball over to him. As he did, I don't know if there was a man responsible for him, but my gut reaction is that they sent more men than they thought they could pick up at the quarterback. As a result, he's running all alone for 6.
Here's Calvin Hill turning up the sideline, and into the end zone he goes. So now Don Cockcroft will try the point after. Sam Rutigliano now sees his team put up his 3rd touchdown of the game. Good hold by Dave Logan on a high snap. Cockcroft's kick is up and through, but there are 2 penalty markers down. The attendance, over 81,000 for this game. It's the biggest ball yard in the NFL, and they fill it a lot of weeks, always, when the Pittsburgh Steelers come to town.
Point after touchdown was complete. 12 men on the defense will carry over to the goal to the kickoff. 5 yards on the kickoff.
Normally they refer to the 12th man. Brian Seipjohn has now completed 15 of 28 for 213 yards and 3 touchdowns, according to Joe Costanza, who keeps the numbers for us, and very well.
Yeah, normally that's enough to get you a win. Now he only needs 17 more points, and that may not do it.
Here's a high spinning kickoff by Cockcroft. Moving up on the ball is Anderson. He's at his 10-yard line. Turns to the outside. Chandler blockers forms. Anderson gets out across the 30, out to the 33-yard line. They talk about the players getting bigger, but if there's anything that stands out, you notice more and more, John, is the speed in this game. Boy, it's just like a track meet in these kickoff returns.
And when you're talking about speed, you talk about Greg Hawthorne, the kid from Baylor. He's in the ball game now. We haven't seen him carry the ball very much. I think you'll see him put his hands on it and do something.
Cliff Stout, the backup quarterback for Youngstown State and Truzek. Stout just keeps the chart. He can play, though. Broke all of Jaworski's records. Hawthorne is in the game, 225 pounds. He comes out of the blocks like a sprinter. Number 27 in the Steeler backfield. Frank goes with him. They go to Hawthorne. See what he can do. Takes a couple of shots. Advances the ball out to the 35-yard line to the 36 they're going to give him. And the clock runs. 4 minutes and 14 seconds left to play in the 3rd quarter. Steelers 37, Cleveland 21. 81,260 is the official attendance. 15,000 here from Pittsburgh. Steeler fans will go out into the night, won't they, John? They will play that music at 4 o'clock in the morning. Bradshaw cocks his arm, just gets rid of it. Ball was tipped. Cleveland had a play on it. Goes as an incompletion. Shirk was on Bradshaw.
And I'll tell you what, Clay Matthews was all over Hawthorne. Yeah. Terry would like to have gone to him, but he couldn't beat the linebacker. Jerry Shirk having a fine year, teaming up with Lyle Alzado on the right side. They play a little game. He finally does get to Terry, and Terry can't find anybody open.
But not had a sack in the game yet. Clinton Farrell now comes in the game along with Ricky Jones as they pull the middle backer and the outside back on the left side. Jackson and Hall come out. Browns with 6 defensive backs on a 3rd down and 8 play. picked off. He went to another play at the line of scrimmage. He throws. T-Bell dives. Did he get the ball?
I think he got the ball, but he went out of bounds.
So it's an incomplete pass. And the Steelers now will punt the ball as Newsome drops back for the Cleveland Browns with 3:39 left to play in the third quarter. Newsome standing back inside his 25-yard line. Colquitt will hit the ball somewhere around the 28. There's Ozzie Newsome awaiting a punt by number 5, Craig Colquitt. A knuckleball downfield and takes a hop back up towards the Steelers. They down it at the 33, 32. So the big fight on October 20th on NBC Sports World. Brian Sipe drops, cocks his arm, lets her rip. Long Newsome is there. Ozzie Newsome has the football, and he's out to the 30-yard line. So the Browns start to mount another challenge, John.
That's an unbelievable throw. I don't even think he should have thrown the ball because there were 4 people sitting in the area ready to break it up or intercept it. It was thrown so perfectly, it just kind of hit Newsome right on the dead run. Look at this. Lambert is back in a great drop. Donnie Shell comes over. Wagner comes over and almost picked it off. It's a big play. It's the kind of play Cleveland needs to get back in this ball game.
So now the Browns fans have something more to cheer about. Their team down 37-21. First down and 10 Cleveland. 30-yard line of the Pittsburgh Steelers. Hand off to Pruitt. And hit from behind. Pruitt is inside the 25-yard line. John Banaszak hit him and drove him ahead a couple of yards.
And here's another problem. Dennis Winston is going off the field, which necessitates a replacement in an area where they can least afford it.
Well, they're going to go with a rookie. Tom Graves comes in the game, number 50. As Sipe counsels his team in the offensive huddle of the Cleveland Browns. Second down and 5 is coming up for Cleveland. Rucker is wide to the left. Blunt's right up on him. At the top of your screen, Dave Logan. With a linebacker on him, now he moves out wider and goes one-on-one with J.T. Thomas. They go to the run. And the carry is down inside the 25-yard line. Calvin Hill got it to about the 23. Gary Dunn knocked him down. The third down and about 2 yards to go for the first down, John.
Very big drive. They now have enough time to where they can run it or throw it. They've put themselves in a position where they have to get it in on this drive. Even 3 points puts them within 2 touchdowns. They've got more than a quarter to go.
And the way touchdowns have gone up on the board in this game, there could be a lot more. It's 1:25 left to play in the third quarter. Third down and 3 for Cleveland. Big play inside the Steeler 25. Calvin Hill did not get there, and so the Browns have to go to the fourth down play. They will go from scrimmage on fourth down. There was actually a little loss on the play. Ball will be spotted about the 23. It's going to be 4th and 3.
You notice Jack Ham was in on the tackle.
Yes. Logan is wide to the left. Setbacks are Pruitt and Hill. 4th down and 3 for Cleveland. Big play for the Browns. Sipe rolls out. He runs. Oh, he takes a hard shot. He got down to where he had to go, the 20. Now the deal where they spot the ball.
I think he... Well, it's really close.
Steelers think they stopped him, but we don't know till we see the chains come out and the measurement made. He really was stood up hard on a driving tackle. Wagner hit him, and Graves, number 50, also got him.
He slipped just a little bit coming out. He tried to make a move up a little quicker, and it just cost him the 6 inches he was short.
So the Steelers, fists raised in the air, go off the field. The defense holding on 4th down, and Pittsburgh takes over the ball. 32 seconds left to play now in the third quarter.
Take another look at it, Don. You see, he just kind of slipped when he tried to cut upfield. 6 inches short.
You don't want your quarterback taking those shots on the shoulder. Something's got to give. It's usually the quarterback. First and 10, Pittsburgh. Bradshaw takes a look and goes to Franco Harris. He's tearing it up today. And Harris runs the ball out across the 25-yard line before Mickey Sims knocks him down. Next Sunday, there's an outstanding lineup of exciting NFL action on NBC. First at 12:30 Eastern Time, NFL 79. with Bryant Gumbel and Mike Adamle, and a look at Wild West football Canadian style. Then most of the country will see the big interconference matchup between the Patriots and the Bears. Other key games include Buffalo at Miami, the Seahawks and the explosive San Diego Chargers, Denver versus Kansas City, a team that's now 4-2 after a win today. Check your local listings for the game and time in your area. And now the third quarter comes to an end here at Cleveland with the Steelers in possession of the ball and a 37-21 lead. We'll be back in a moment. Franco Harris having a big day, and the U.S. Olympians getting set for a big summer. 1980 Moscow. We're going to give you that Olympic address again. We'll give you a chance to write it down. Here is Bradshaw. Quick screen on the flat goes to Jim Smith. Wide receiver screen. He gets ahead to about the 29-yard line. He'll be short of a first down on a 2nd and 4 play. Here's that address again. You can send your tax-deductible contribution to help our American Olympic athletes to U.S. Olympics, Post Office Box 1980T, Cathedral Station, Boston, Massachusetts, 02118. Franco Harris, as we mentioned, has his 31st 100-yard game. O.J. Simpson, in his career, had 42 so far. Jim Brown's the all-time leader. Played 9 years and had 58. 3rd and 1. Up the middle, and again, they break it up. It's Rocky Bleier, the former Notre Dame captain. He's not supposed to be fast, but he just laid the Cleveland Browns behind him. That was like a dog chasing a car. That's about as much chance they had of catching Rocky.
Well, once he got by, you see a short yardage situation, you've got everybody committed to filling a hole. They put a break for the 3rd time today right in the middle of the defense. Once you do that, the back is long gone. Grossman coming over, there's nobody in pursuit. Once you break the line of scrimmage, you've gone. Couldn't come at a better time for Rocky. He's having a little trouble getting back in the lineup because Sidney Thornton is playing so well.
Got a pretty good rushing average today, doesn't he?
He's got a pretty good rushing average every day.
Rocky Bleier, the longest run from scrimmage in his pro career. And the Steelers have yet another touchdown. With 14:05 to play, they lead 43-21. Extra point is up and good by Matt Barr. So the Rock busted one loose for the Pittsburgh Steelers. There isn't a more popular guy on the team. And Rocky says, hey, how about all that? Longest rush of his career, and Rocky Bleier takes it into the end zone, and we'll be back at Cleveland Stadium with more of this Pittsburgh 44-21 lead at the moment. This is Don Criqui with John Brody, and the kickoff is returned by Dino Hall. Now for a report in that exciting game in Denver between the Chargers and the Broncos, here's Sam Nover. Now you in Cleveland and you in Pittsburgh, we're going to stay right here at Mile High. They're at Mile High Stadium, part of our network. We're at Cleveland Stadium when last we looked, and it is 44-21. Rocky Bleier went the distance from 70 yards out, longest run of his career. Ryan Sipe now takes a look, dumps it off. Pruitt has the ball, and he's knocked out of bounds at about the 37-yard line, stopping the clock with 13:48 to play. Oh, we got 65 points up so far, John. How many more do we get?
Well, there's no telling. Right now, every time Pittsburgh gets the ball, something good has happened for them. They've been able to break big plays. How many times have you ever seen a football team run from the line of scrimmage 70 and 71 yards? I've been watching Pittsburgh a long time. I have not seen them run one play that far. And they've got 2 of those today. Their offensive linemen have to be credited. They've just knocked some holes in there and given their backs an opportunity to get out and go.
Steelers say they've only had one good performance this season when they blew away Houston 38-7. Well, they've had another one today. Sipe takes a look, fires hard over the middle, and Ozzie Newsome, who will catch it in the crowd, takes it at the 49-yard line. Cutting back, he's knocked down at about the 48. It'll be a first down for the Cleveland Browns. Donnie Shell finally knocked him down. Pittsburgh has over 300 yards rushing, John, and they're averaging a carry. This is unbelievable. 15.3 yards. That will get you there.
How sweet it is. The quarterback can be brilliant. You know, Cleveland has had a very good day offensively. It's just they can't keep pace.
Right. Usually in pretty good shape. You just get 21 up. A lot of time to go.
Against Pittsburgh.
21 up and not even in it. Sipe takes a look. Lost it long. Newsome is there. It intercepted. Mike Wagner picks it off. The Steelers' zone coverage closed in on the receiver, Ozzie Newsome, and Mike Wagner picks it off as again Brian Sipe is intercepted for the third time.
You remember when Ozzie Newsome went right down the seam a little earlier on the drive before? We mentioned that's a very tough pass to hit, and you're not going to fool Mike Wagner more than once in a day. He's already got his one charted up, and Wagner's just been baiting him, hoping this play will come back. He's got the ball all the way. Take a look.
Yep, he sure does. So Mike Wagner takes the ball, the free safety, back there playing center field on the long pass yardage play, picks it off, and now the Steelers come out of the huddle, and they're going to be running the ball right at the Cleveland Browns. Looking to run the clock. Nate Hawthorne carries the ball and gets out across the 20 and out close to the 28-yard line. Updating some of the other scores around the league as Hawthorne carries. Denver is leading San Diego in the fourth quarter, a big game in the AFC West. LA continues to lead the Saints at New Orleans 28-10. Now the Jets have scored, but Baltimore still holding on to a 10-6 lead as the Baltimore Colts look for their first win of this season. Dallas up by 10 over the Vikings, fourth quarter, Bloomington, Minnesota. Seattle over the winless 49ers, 21-10 in San Francisco.
Been a long year, Donnie.
It's been tough. And up to Hawthorne. He goes right at the Browns defense. He does not go down easily. He runs the ball right into the heart of the Cleveland defense, gets the ball ahead, and advances it close to the 35-yard line. A pickup of 5 yards on the play.
You're watching a running back, Greg Hawthorne, that you may see an awful lot of in the future at Pittsburgh. #1 draft choice. Big, 220 pounds, lots of speed, and they really just haven't had an opportunity to insert him in the lineup.
Big backs are so fast. You don't need the breakaway scat backs when you got 230-pounders who could do that 100 inside of 10 seconds. Here's Hawthorne. Had it and lost it. Lawrence Johnson wants to fool everybody like he's got an interception, but he got it on the one hop.
Well, you know, Tom Darden thought he was going to pick the ball off. However, he came up there and fell down, and Hawthorne almost picked it and ran off. There probably is a lot of speculation right now. You notice that Bradshaw is in the ball game. They've got a 23-point lead. They've got 12 minutes to play in the fourth quarter. It's the philosophy of Chuck Noll. Terry, you start the ball game and you finish it. I agree with it because you can get a lot of conversation going if you put another quarterback in. He starts to have a good day. The first time you're a little off, they start yelling for him, and it really, in my opinion, fouls up the whole routine.
So yeah, the Steelers put up their points. Here is a block ball. Grossman was near to it. St. Clair appeared to tip it. Mike St. Clair, the left end, number 74. That's how the Steeler offense has scored on the top line, how their defense has given up points in the fourth quarter. You don't beat Pittsburgh. Now their fourth quarter statistics through this game are 59-7 as they have outscored the Browns 7-0. First quarter was the big one for Pittsburgh, 21-0. Dino Hall is back now to return the punt. Colquitt in the game for the Steelers. Hits it well downfield. Dino takes it at his 20. Looks for some help. Goes to the outside, gets a couple of blocks, and Dino Hall's across the 40. He is across the 50. Look at this guy go. He's down inside the 35-yard line.
They got him for tripping. Colquitt, it's the only way he can stop him, and Burl Toner is right on it.
Penalty marker down. There's signals against, you're right, the Steelers. Get him any way you can. But that one is illegal. Punt was 45 yards. The return was 57. So Dino Hall, who's replacing a great injured kick returner, Keith Wright, does a big job, and here's some more penalty yardage tacked on.
He's almost broken 3 or 4 today, and he's had an awful lot of action.
Tripping the runner. 10 yards, tack on, first down.
Let's watch Dino on the ISO.
Okay, we mentioned several times he's come close to breaking them, and when a team's scoring 44 points, you're going to get a lot of special teamwork. Here he gets out around the wedge. It formed for him. You see, he tries to cut to the inside of Colquitt. When he did, he got tripped.
Dino Hall does a good job. Sipe throws to the end zone. The almost had a reception, then we almost had an interception. We had a loud out, incomplete, as he went to go to Calvin Hill again. We'll watch the trip again. You'll see Colquitt, the punter, come in and get him with a leg.
All right, we mentioned the wedge. It just set up perfectly. You see all those fellows over there didn't even have anybody to block by the time he got around it. As he goes down the lane, Colquitt's in a good position, playing him all the way. As he cuts inside, he just sticks his leg out. It's about the only play he had. He'll take the 10.
You can wrap him as best you can anyway, but you can't trip him. Anderson a little shaken up on the play for the Steelers. Now the Browns are down close, 2nd down and 10. Sipe takes a look. He lost it in, and down it's incomplete. Swinging out and downfield was Reggie Rucker with 11:35 left to play in the game. So right now it will be 3rd down and 10 coming up for Cleveland. Forced to pass because of the disparity in the score. The Browns have come up with a lot of 3rd and long yardage plays. L.C. Greenwood jumped in early, so Sipe gets a free one. He lost it into the end zone. Logan goes up, J.T. Thomas goes up, and it's an incomplete pass.
At least it'll be 3rd and 5 instead of 3rd and 10. You can see L.C. tried to get a little jump. Usually the quarterback gets into some sort of rut. By this time in the ball game, those defensive linemen all know what it is. That time he jumped just a little early.
Since the Steelers got cooking in 1972, there is Matt Barr. Doesn't have much age on him yet, does he?
You get it quick kicking.
3rd down and 5 coming up for the Cleveland Browns. Sipe stands in, looks it up in the air. Incomplete. Dennis Winston was covering Calvin Hill on the play. So it's an incomplete pass, and it brings up another 4th down. It'll be 4th down and 5 now, as the Cleveland Browns work hard to get it back into the end zone.
As many points as Pittsburgh has put on the board today, 44. Cleveland has let 3 scoring opportunities fail. One time when they were on the 2-yard line, then they missed a field goal. The last time on 4th and 3, they weren't able to keep their drive alive, and now they've got it down here again. So they haven't had any problem moving it, just putting some points on the board.
Get an idea how good this AFC Central Division is against the rest of the league starting today's play. They were 9-1, AFC Central teams. Sipe fires in the flat. Oh, Calvin Hill had it and lost it, and the 4th down play comes up short. And so on 4th down, the Steelers hold and take over the ball, leading the game 44-21 with 11:19 left to play. So we'll be returning to Cleveland Stadium in a moment with the Steelers en route to their 5th win of the year, the way it stands at this point. Then we get the game. Steelers 44, the Browns 21. And Pittsburgh has the ball 1st and 10 at the Steeler 18-yard line. Hawthorne runs free football. It does draw a crowd. Who's got it? Well, Lawrence Johnson thinks that Cleveland does.
He put in a claim anyway.
Got a lot of good NBC people bringing you this game. We have 6 cameras here today, 3 replay machines, and a lot of other equipment. And one of the many fine NBC technicians responsible for this is electronic maintenance man Al Buckner. So to Al and everybody on the NBC crew, our producer Larry Cirillo, our director Ted Nathanson, thank you once again.
And here we go again. Hawthorne trying to get through on a trap play. He does break it at the line of scrimmage. Alzado gets his hand on the ball. As he does so, he jams it loose, and Cleveland's got a turnover.
The lights are on. The temperature has dropped here at Cleveland. Gusting winds as Sipe looks into the end zone. 1st down throw. Logan, touchdown Browns. We're not done yet. 11:03 to play.
They're not done yet. Every time people want to quit, Sipe brings them back with some sort of a throw. 27-44.
71 points on the board. The Browns. Steelers had only given up 71 in the previous 5 games.
All right, here goes Sipe. Good, excellent protection. Sipe didn't have this kind of protection last week against Houston. And Logan made a fine move down the field. Look at Winston. He can't get on him. Logan cuts underneath Mel Blount. He's kind of lost once he lets him get to him that quickly. As he does so, Sipe puts it right where it had to be thrown.
San Martigliano calls Logan a Gary Collins with speed. The extra point is up and good. So it is a big touchdown day here in Cleveland, and we've got a long way to go. 11:03 left to play. Pittsburgh leading 44-28. Pittsburgh Steelers Bradshaw's thrown into the end zone 3 times. Onside kick. It touched the Steeler, and the Browns have the ball.
Tell you, Don, you game over. There's still almost 11 minutes of play left.
Ricky Jones recovered. So we're not done yet. Jim Smith apparently touched the ball. And the ball will be at the 45-yard line. Here it is. Cockcroft gets a little swipe. And coming up with a football for the Cleveland Browns.
Ricky Jones.
That's actually Ricky Jones, who grabbed it on the run on the one hop. It hit a Cleveland up back. And there was a free ball then. Sipe takes a look. Home run ball. Rucker's out there, and he is incomplete at the 5-yard line. Woo! And there's a penalty marker down in the Pittsburgh secondary.
Well, let me tell you, Brian Sipe just got rid of that ball before the lights went out. Dwight White was flying after him. There's a penalty on the play right in the middle of the field.
Browns don't look too happy about it. Here's the call.
Double foul. Hold 63 offense. Holding 31 defense. Play goes over.
We shall do it again.
Well, Donnie Shell, we mentioned he's been on him all day long on Ozzie Newsome. You get in the middle of the field, and it's a one-on-one situation. Now he goes with the play, but he was holding on to him. I guess it was ruled earlier before we could see it.
Brian Sipe needs just 4 more yards, John, for 300-yard day passing. He also needs 17 points. So it'll be first down and 10 now for the Cleveland Browns. The ball at their 45-yard line. Rucker comes wide to the right. Logan's on the left flank. You see the lights on at Cleveland Stadium with over 81,000 in attendance for one of the most celebrated rivalries in the NFL. The Brian Sipe took the hard hit from Dwight White. Ozzie Newsome with the intended receiver. This wind has blown a lot of things on the field. It's amazing how well they've thrown in the gusty wind.
You can just see Sipe is rather disappointed because that screen was pretty well set up. It's a timing situation with the tackle. You have to get a little bit more of the defensive end than Deacon got that time. And
still a lot of time left with a 44-28 score on the board. Steelers in the lead. 10:44 to play. Sipe takes a drop, takes a look, lets her go. Logan has the football. First down, Browns at the 31-yard line. This thing is something else.
Cleveland forgot to quit. How many times have they come back at home? In the last 10 games, it must have been 3 or 4. Now, if they come back today, it's a miracle, and they're playing the best defense in the National Football League. But they are moving the ball on it. Okay, Dave Logan, we saw him just a little bit earlier catch a touchdown pass, get him within 16 points. Runs the same pattern, only pulls it up in there, well thrown, right at the spot of the move. Picks up a first.
Logan would be your basic athlete, drafted by the NBA, by the Major League Baseball, as well as by the Browns. Here's a throw, Logan, what a catch, down to the 13-yard line. And we've still got a lot of time left, 9:50 to play.
All right, let me tell you something, Don. These balls are pretty easy to complete. You can see the lanes that Sipe has to throw in. It's because Lauren Taves, Robin Cole, the linebackers are hurting. It causes rookies to play linebacker. Tom Graves may be an outstanding football player later in his career, but he's still young. It's very difficult for him to start cutting off patterns.
So Logan has been the guy down the stretch, and Sipe has been there to him. So it is first and 10, Cleveland Browns, 13-yard line of the Pittsburgh Steelers. 9:15 to play. Sipe looks, lofts it into the end zone. Touchdown, Cleveland! Dave Logan! Unbelievable! I'm loving all this. This is great.
There's still 9 minutes and 10 seconds left, and all the mo has gone toward
anything like this.
Well, this is like the old days of the AFL, you know. Whoever gets the ball last wins.
Last at bat, just like a highlight reel.
351 yards for Sipe so far today. There's still 10 minutes left to play. His team is 10 down, trying to make it 9.
Hockcroft knocks it through. Boy, you think back when the Browns didn't score when they had a first and goal at the 2, and then they missed the short field goal. They had those 10, we'd really have something.
Yeah, you think back, that's history, though.
That's right.
You think ahead, see what you can do now.
Guess we've all got 20/20 hindsight. The Browns are up and cheering their players. Brian Sipe has thrown the ball 41 times. He has completed 22 for 351 yards and 5 touchdowns. 9:10 left to play, so we've got a long way to go. Beautifully thrown ball and a great move by Logan to take it.
These guys will not buy that they're beat, Don. Okay, Sipe makes an excellent throw. The only place it can be caught. Logan plays the ball all the way. Never really gave Mel Blount a chance to know when it was going to be thrown, and that was the secret to the touchdown.
Boy, this is something. If you joined us late, we've got a show going on at Cleveland. The Pittsburgh Steelers and their awesome defense and the Cleveland Browns moving through them. The Steelers holding to a lead at this point, but it has not been easy as the Browns keep rallying back in the game. 44-35.
With 9+ to go.
Go to the triple-digit scoreboard. This time it's a kickoff downfield. Anderson loses the handle. He's got a problem right now as the Browns get him. Willis Adams throws him down inside the 10-yard line. 9:01 left to play. This is great. Willis Adams, and there's penalty markers also down on the play. What a game. It's against the Steelers. The play goes. Cliff against Pittsburgh. That will set them back still more.
They have got to get it out of this hole. It'll be interesting to see. This is the third time that it looked like Pittsburgh had a comfortable lead. You can see Chuck Noll. He's a little concerned. Terry's got to rally him again. It's the toughest thing in football to do. Once you think you've won a ball game, the other team comes back. Now you've got to get your group reorganized.
Look at Chuck Noll, boy. He is unhappy about this turn of events. This awesome Steeler defense that has taken this team to 3 world championships has been riddled by the passing of Brian Sipe. And now Bradshaw, who's had an even more effective day than those statistics would indicate. Hands off, and the Browns close it down. I tell you, Cleveland is playing football right now.
You think the offense scoring touchdowns doesn't pump the defense up? They seem to be playing better right at this moment than they have all throughout the game. This is Robert Jackson filling the hole. You noticed a few times earlier, they made big gainers on that little trap play. That time he was in it.
Well, the bunch just crunched him on that one. Clock running, 8:29 left to play. Browns trail by 9. Second down and 9 for the Steelers, way down in their own area of the field at the 6. Handoff. Alzado puts a smashing tackle on. And also on the stop was the middle linebacker Jackson and Dimmler, 92. That's how Cleveland breaks down offensively and defensively, scoring and permitting points throughout the 4 quarters of play coming into this game.
Okay, here we go. Another shot, just like the halfback looks at it. That hole closed fast.
Now Franco Harris is in the game. Here's a pitch back to Harris. On a 3rd down carry, he puts his head down, and it looks like Franco Harris might have the first down. He had to get the ball to the 16-yard line.
He knew right where he had to get it, and he got it there.
A big play for the Pittsburgh Steelers as their lead has been cut to 9, 44-35. 7 minutes and 25 seconds left to play in the game. The clock is running here in Cleveland. The wind is blowing and over 81,000 are standing as we have had one of the most exciting games in the National Football League this season. The Browns falling way behind, then rallying back as Brian Sipe has thrown for 5 touchdowns. And now the world champions looking to hold their lead. Come out of the huddle, 1st and 10 at the 16-yard line. Bradshaw gives off to Franco Harris, and he's chopped after a gain of less than 2 yards. And the clock runs. 6 minutes and 50 seconds to go. John Brody.
That was a big 7-yard gain that Harris picked up. He's run one for 71 today, but that 7 yards was more meaningful.
That's right.
He's quieted this crowd down. He's given his team a little room to operate with. They want to control the clock. The only way they can do it is pick up a first down.
Second down and 8. Pittsburgh Steelers with the ball. Cleveland's defense digs in. End off. Franco Harris. It's not there. It'll be third and long yardage. He got to the 20. It'll be third down and about 7. Jack Gregory came in. Number 81 and made the stop on Franco Harris.
All right, we look at the offensive line has been having the best of it all day long, both sides of the field. However, during this drive, Cleveland looks up to the task.
There's the big guys digging in. Gregory in at left end, number 81, the veteran who started his career here at Cleveland, went to the New York Giants for 7 seasons, then came back to Cleveland. Third down and 7. Pittsburgh Steelers with the ball. The Cleveland Browns looking to get the football back. Bradshaw looks, out to pass, and it is caught by John Stallworth for a Steeler first down. A superb connection by the Steelers when the pressure is on.
What a
Stallworth.
superb pattern, Don. This pattern was run just as well as you can run it. He got inside the defense. When he did so, it allowed Bradshaw to have a lot of room throwing it to the outside. You notice when he did throw it, Stallworth has given him a lot of room to throw it in. A lot of sideline to work with. He picks up the first down, and it just quieted down everybody in the house.
The clock is running. 5 minutes left to play now. It's down to 4:58 and running. 44-35, Pittsburgh with the ball, and the Steelers with their all-pro quarterback Terry Bradshaw pulling the trigger gets the first down yardage on third down. First and 10 Steelers. Bradshaw goes to Harris. They're giving him less and less. Franco Harris has over 150 yards running the ball in this game. He got 71 in that one shot up the middle on a third and short yardage play when he took it into the end zone. At that point, it looked like a laugher for the Pittsburgh Steelers. 4:25 left to play. At Municipal Stadium, Cleveland, Ohio. This is Don Criqui with John Brody. We have 4:14 left to play in the game. It has been a most remarkable football game as the Steelers are holding to a 44-35 lead. The Browns, falling way behind, keep rallying back. And now they're trying to get the football back from the world champions. Brian Sipe, the Cleveland quarterback, has thrown for 5 touchdowns in this game. Best day of his career.
And Pittsburgh has been up to the task because 9-point lead, and there was 9 minutes to go in the ball game. They've just run off about 5 plus of those. Bradshaw has run his team from his own 6-yard line out to the 42-yard line. One fine throw, an excellent run by Franco Harris. This is a big drive. Pittsburgh keeps coming up with it.
The champions come out of the huddle. Third down and 6 at the 41-yard line of Pittsburgh. Steelers with the ball. 3:25 left to play. The clock is running. Bradshaw takes the drop. He takes a look, gets it away. It's complete to Benny Cunningham, one of his tight ends. And he's down to the 45-yard line of Cleveland. It's a first down Steelers.
He just hangs in there and fires it where he has to. It is a very difficult thing. Once a team thinks that they have won a football game, for a quarterback, the whole team is kind of let down all of a sudden, like Franco Harris had even come out of the ball game, okay? And it looked like everything was well in control. All of a sudden, they've got to regroup. Bradshaw did it easily.
It is a gusting, windy day here in Cleveland. Temperature in the 40s. Winds have been swirling, but the passing has been superior despite the weather. First down and 10, Pittsburgh Steelers, 44-yard line of Cleveland. Thornton, a big back who got a lot of yardage early, but has been quieted by the ground defense as of late. Drives ahead, but right now the Steelers are doing what they want to do most, and that is control the clock with this running game. 2:20 left to play. Pittsburgh holding to a 44-35 lead with 2:13 to go. That would seem to be a lot of points to be leading a football game by in this league with 2 minutes left to play. but this has not been a normal National Football League game.
It's a whole lot more points than it was 7 minutes ago, and Cleveland hadn't had the ball back since they did score and get it to within 9.
And
really, this is the best driver we've seen all day, and it's been fine execution by Bradshaw, 2 real fine runs by Franco Harris. It's not over, but it's looking pretty thin if you're a Cleveland fan.
Cleveland has 351 yards passing. Pittsburgh has 351 yards rushing. Everybody's getting their numbers up in this one. And this game will decide the leader in the American Football Conference Central Division. The St. Louis Cardinals upset the Houston Oilers today. New England beat Detroit 24-17. Kansas City over Cincinnati 10-7. Chicago beat Buffalo 7-0. Atlanta over Green Bay 25-7. Philadelphia beat Washington 28-17. The New York Giants upset Tampa Bay 17-14. The Steelers break the huddle. 2nd down and 8 coming up. 43-yard line of the Cleveland Browns. Bradshaw takes a look. Lets her go long. John Stallworth is there, and he catches the ball inside the 15-yard line for Pittsburgh.
Bradshaw never ceases to amaze me. 2 minutes to go. They've got a 9-point lead. He just comes on and says, thank you very much. Think we'll pick up 30 yards and fires the ball. Now, maybe that's why he is as good as he is. I mean, you just have to be oozing with confidence to be able to do that at this time in the ball game.
So we have a break in the action here at Cleveland Stadium. 1:53 left to play, and now the Steelers are down close once again. Calls him back. He saw something. He wants to make sure everybody's got on the same page here.
I think somebody said, hey, what's it on or something? Let's regroup.
With that snap count. Bradshaw goes. Thornton runs, and Sidney Thornton turns upfield, and Thornton is down inside the 10-yard line. He stops the clock as he gets down inside the 5-yard line. Tom Darden finally knocked him down.
Remember, this drive started on their own 6.
That's right.
With everybody yelling. Now they're on the other team's 5, and nobody's saying a word.
You recall that 3rd down play when Bradshaw threw the strike for the 1st down, and the Steelers kept it going. So they take over the line of scrimmage on this drive, and now with 1:48 left to play, the clock stopped. The Steelers have the ball at the Browns' 4-yard line. Next week, the world champions go to Cincinnati. And the Cleveland Browns will be back here at home to play the Washington Redskins. 1:48 left to play. And we've got 79 points on the scoreboard. Franco Harris turns the corner. Not going to get there. Tom Darden, the free safety, grabbed him and held on. There's a penalty marker, though. Tom might have grabbed something he wasn't allowed to, the face mask.
Personal foul, face mask on against defense.
When you're trying to handle Franco Harris, you grab anything you can get. This time Franco thinks maybe he can get around the corner. He got him by the head. Pretty clearly.
I don't think there was much
Pretty
question.
clearly illegal.
So the penalty stops the clock with 1:42 left to play. Steelers will have the ball inside the 5-yard line at about the 3. The players cloaked on the sidelines in jackets, capes, as the wind swirls. It has been all game long, but now the temperature's down lower here at Cleveland. Lights have been on since the very beginning. Bradshaw sets his team with 2 tight ends. Sidney Thornton up the gut. Got down to the goal line. Did he cross it? No signal. So apparently he's going to be ruled down just short of the touchdown line.
Another good trap block. Davis, Webster.
Clay Matthews hit him head on, and Matthews a little slow getting up.
We've seen him break 3 of these at the line of scrimmage. Matthews fills the hole very well that time, but Thornton just does a great job of running and picks up 3.5.
Clock is running now. It's down to 1:08 left to go and running. For those of you who have just joined us, due to the length of today's game, we will join Disney's Wonderful World Part 2 of the $1 Million Duck right after this game. Steelers break the huddle at their leisure.
Here we go again. We see the trap block. Davis pulling. Webster doing a fine job at the point of attack. They've got the ball on the 1-yard line.
Bradshaw using all his 30 seconds that's allotted between plays. Handoff, Thornton, touchdown, Pittsburgh. That'll do it.
Same play. Nobody was there to handle it.
50 points on the board for Pittsburgh.
94-yard drive. It took about 8.5 minutes. Is that impressive? Okay, this time, Sam Davis again. Moving those tackles out of there. Let's take another look. Webster seals off. Davis comes in. That's a big hole.
So there's a break in the action as the Cleveland Browns lead this game 51-35. We're not over yet. 36 seconds to go.
Brian Gumbel reporting from NFL 79 in New York, and reporting to you the Colts have managed a victory. What you're seeing here is Bucky Dilts. No, he is not lacking in courage. He is taking a safety intentionally to preserve a Colt lead. That made it 10-8. They punted the ball to the Jets, but they ran out the clock. Ted Marchibroda's troops, for the first time in 6 tries this week, get themselves a victory. Let's go back to Cleveland, join Don Criqui and John Broder.
Back at Cleveland, Dino Hall has just run back the Pittsburgh kickoff across his 25-yard line and out to the 30. Dwayne Woodruff, a rookie, made the hit.
Although this is a very short yardage situation, we've seen Pittsburgh break it at the point of attack several times during the day, and it's the same exact play. You see Sam Davis pull out. He takes care of Robert Jackson, and the hole is just too big. Nobody's closing it down. They've broken 7 or 8 on this very same play.
I'd like to thank our spotters, John Beshko and Pete Halbin, and our statistician, Joe Costanza, as we have 31 seconds left to go at Cleveland. It is a very unlikely score, 51-35, that we read you. In an unlikely game. Up the middle, the Browns go to the run. Mike Pruitt carries and gets it across the 35-yard line, and apparently that will be the final play of the game as Cleveland lets the clock run down. 17 seconds left to go. They've not stopped it yet, and apparently they're not going to trailing 51-35. So you see the final seconds tick away in a game that was really like a highlight reel. More spectacular plays than you'll see in half a season. And that is the ball game. The Pittsburgh Steelers extend their record to 5-1, and they take over sole possession of first place in the AFC Central Division, as today the Houston Oilers were upset by the St. Louis Cardinals. The final score 51-35 here at Cleveland.